Hey everyone, how's it going? So we got some Minish cap here. In this video I'm going to be going over the any percent run, specifically the beginner route. So anyone who's got a copy of Minish cap should be able to follow this video start to finish and be able to complete an any percent run. We will be going quite quickly through a lot of these sections, but there is a supplementary playlist that has all of the information of the run in excruciating detail, like hours on a specific, a single section of the run. So if there is any point that like I go too quickly and you're like, oh, I didn't really understand that, there's a video just for that. So go and check that out as well. This is just an overview that has everything together in one video so that you can see start to finish what it should look like. So let's get right into this. So you need to be playing on the Japanese version. You may already have a file ready or whatever. If you have a file with link that has a cap or like any icons like this on the screen, you need to delete it. So we open it up, select the right option and then the right option again, and that deletes the file. We want to create a new file. You select any character. One character, don't make it longer than that, otherwise you lose time to text boxes and stuff. I like the smiley face, I'm going to use that. After you create your file, you press R and then you select the right option here. This is going to set the text speed to fast. That is going to make it so that you don't lose time in like cutscenes and text boxes and stuff. Like it's just free time save. Make sure you do that. Now we've got the file ready. Link doesn't have his hat and yeah, there's nothing else on the file screen like that. So now we're on emulator here. If you're on emulator, you need to do a hard reset and it needs to show the Game Boy logo. You do that by making sure the BIOS is enabled. So we're going to do that here. If you're on console, you do that, just do a soft reset. You soft reset by holding AB start select. Now, after we do the reset, we mash through and then start our file, and we press start on our splits when we select the file. It's very important that we mash through the title screen and the select the file straight away, because we're doing an RNG manipulation here. I was dilly-dallying a bit there talking, but like when you do the hard reset, just start mashing A, or you can mash start. To load the file as quickly as possible. Whenever we reset the game, the RNG value gets set to a known value, and then RNG advances to the next number anytime it gets called, and it is a known sequence of numbers that it's going to advance through. So if we do all of the same inputs with quite actually a really reasonable amount of leniency to it, we can always get the same outcomes. So at the beginning, we're going to be doing an RNG manipulation to get a rupee from a pot, because we're going to grab 20 rupees from the chest in Link's house, and then we're going to get a blue rupee, and we're going to leave Link's house at 25 rupees. It's just going to be important to do it now because we don't really have many opportunities later. So we're going to text mash through all of these text boxes. Hold B to make the text speed go fast, and then we can mash A, R, up, down, left, or right to advance text. And ideally, you just do a little bit of everything like this. And this is just how we text mash in Minish cap to advance text as quickly as possible. We have control of Link now, so we're going to come down the stairs, and then we're going to do 2 rolls in this room. Do not do any other rolls anywhere else in this section, because that will change RNG. So we're going to text mash through this section, blah, 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 blah. We're going to get like all of this cutscene. There's going to be a lot of cutscenes and text mashing throughout the first 10 minutes, so you just got to get used to that. So now we open the chest. That's going to have a 20 rupee. Then we're going to throw this pot here. And then we get the blue rupee. If you don't get a rupee, just reset and try again. You should be able to get it 100% consistent every single time. If you don't get it, it's probably because you didn't advance through... that you didn't start the file fast enough by text mashing through the title screen. So yeah, we're just going to follow Zelda through here. Go up to her, text mash, roll up, and stuff. So yeah, Link can roll by pressing R. This is our fastest movement method, and you want to make sure you do it as many times as possible. Just follow where I'm rolling. This is the most optimal movement or at least what I find the most optimal movement. Don't roll backwards like that. That's bad. And then we're going to come and talk to Zelda 3 times here in the intro. Obviously, I'm someone who's played this for years. You're not going to be doing like super optimal movement like I am on your first try. Just try and copy it as closely as possible. And so yeah, we mash through all of that, those text boxes there, and we're going to exit out the top of here. I'm just kind of lagging a little bit here. Intro is very simple. It's just go to the spot, watch cutscene, text smash, go to another spot, text smash. Nothing really crazy going on. So we got the shield. We just hold the shield out at the scrub. There was I like try and line up on a very specific spot there to minimize the amount of time. This guy here, you can soft lock if you roll into directly in front of him. See where I went? Where I was like kind of halfway like in the middle of the room and slightly a little bit towards him. If you go on that spot, you never soft lock. You soft lock by talking to him, by like being so close and trying to roll again, and it causes a soft lock. It's really annoying when you just soft lock there, so don't go directly in front of him, just go a little bit to the side and you're good. You lose 0 time from being slightly off, because Zelda also has to walk as well. So the position, if you're stood slightly to the side, it takes the same amount of time for Link to walk and then Zelda to walk. So it's not optimal to go and stand in front of him. Go the way I went. Here's a cutscene. Yeah, I mean, all of these text boxes, after you run the game a bunch of times like I have, you just get a intuition for where the text boxes are coming. You can try and I mean, you have to practice and learn to memorize where these are. So like I instinctively start like text smashing immediately as soon as the text boxes appear, but it can be a bit tiring if you don't know where they are and you just mash in like intensely throughout the whole thing, so don't worry about it. And also, if you're not text smashing optimally, like it's not a massive deal. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Here, to get out of bed, you want to mash A. Don't mash anything else, it doesn't work. So yeah, this mashing A, R, up, down, left, right, and stuff. This only really works. Also, why is it? Okay, it's only being very weird with my inputs and showing me that I'm holding left. But anyway. On this, we're going to get a map screen here. You need to mash either A or B on that screen to advance out of it. Directions don't work, and I don't think R works either. It has to be A or B. So we're going to be rolling around through here. So now this is the main part of like the game. This is the main thing that we're going to be doing. We're going to be rolling around to places and stuff like that. So Link can roll every 28 frames, which is about half a second. And you're going to get a good rhythm of that from speedrunning this game after some time. You can look at the R button to see when the text appears, and that is the perfect time to judge where your rolls are. So you want that to appear for like a frame, and then you roll again. We're going to be rolling through here, avoiding enemies. Make sure we roll through the enemies and use the invulnerability frames of Link to not take any damage. Or as little damage as possible. I've taken a quarter heart, that's fine. We're going to be following this path through here. That's the fastest way through Minish Village. I'm not going to be... sorry, Minish Woods. I'm not going to be able to explain every single line I take, but just stick as close to it as possible and you're going to be fine. So we go and activate that text box over there by the entrance of Deepwood Shrine. That's going to spawn Eslo. We're going to come up over here. Make sure you get ready for all of the text boxes and close them as quickly as possible. Here's the first fight. We do 2 slashes to kill those guys. Also, if in the previous section any of those Octos get in the way, you can just sword slash them to kill them if they're really obnoxious, but you shouldn't have to. You should be able to roll through all of them. So here we're going to have Eslo. He's going to now begin to bug us throughout the rest of the game. Really important thing about Eslo, we get these triggers like this. That trigger there was fine to jump into, to roll into, but future ones we want to avoid rolling into them. Also here, Minish portal. We jump up onto the portal, we mash R to shrink as quickly as possible and skip the cutscene. Well, we can't skip the cutscene the very first time we go in shrink as Minish. But we need to make sure that we, like, on future times that we do shrink at those kinds of portals, we do want to make sure that we shrink as quickly as possible. The text box that I closed outside of that that stump, it will, if you mash R there, you will regrow. So that's bad. Don't mash R there. You want them to just mash A in directions. So you saw I rode a lily pad around there. It's very important that you wait for the lily pad to get to its position and walk up off of it. That was a very dense section, so sorry I'm like really behind on like explanation of stuff. All of this section should be pretty obvious here. We go up to Festari, we talk to the guy up in at the entranceway. He's blocking the way. We come over to here, we're going to get the Jabberknut. We're going to grab the Jabberknut. And by just doing this kind of movement here, like this. And then we're going to go over to the Elder and we're going to talk to him. And then he's going to make, he's going to tell us like a bunch of stuff as well. And then we're going to go into Deepwood Shrine. When we get into Deepwood Shrine, there's going to be more stuff to explain. So yeah, we got some text boxes here. We get another map, which we mash A to close quickly. Start doing regular text mashing for that. Hop down off the ledge is faster than climbing back down. We're going to roll up through here. We're going to talk to this guy again. And this is the end of the intro section. Now we close that text box. Cool. So we do one roll there. I think it's the second roll is actually more optimal there. Only one. Yeah, okay. That was a little bit sloppy. I don't care. You shouldn't worry too much about movement like that. Close this text box. We're in Deepwood Shrine. We're going to push that statue out the way. We're going to roll right, and we're going to do this anti-clockwise, counterclockwise. If there's a slug over by this bottom left light lamp, then we want to go clockwise instead. It just is more optimal to do it like that. There's a text box here. Avoid it. Do not roll into it. Pull this back. Let go. Pull this back to this spot there and let go. Let go of direction, not R, otherwise you'll just let go of the mushroom. There's an Eslo text box here, do not roll into it. Then we hit the switch, got a little bit of a cutscene here, wait, hold left, down left, and then start rolling as soon as Link starts walking. Left, up, and then left rolls there. Did a little bit of a cheeky damage boost off that guy there to make sure that we didn't, just a little optimization there. So we're going to hop down the ledge here, don't go back around, roll right, roll down. Sometimes these guys get in the way, you just have to try and navigate them as best as you can. This Eslo trigger in the barrel, that's fine to roll into, by the way, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, we roll the barrel up, and then we, because it's faster than rolling it all the way around. We pulled the mushroom back a very small amount there. I'm going to kill that pesto because it's going to be in the way. Sometimes you get lucky and the pesto won't be in the way, but sometimes you just have to kill him. There's an Eslo text box here, so we're going to walk down into it. Don't roll into it. We're going to pull that statue out and then back in, and pull this one back in as well. We're going to grab this one and push it. It saves a little bit of time by making sure you grab it. Roll up and around like this. I'm going to push this here and down. Remember, you can always just look at my inputs as well, and then like you go a little bit slower, and then see how I'm doing everything. So I don't. There's so much that I'm skipping, like micro optimizations. They're not super important at beginner level, but just bear it all in mind. This is how like top runners do the earlier sections, even though there's no crazy tricks that are going to save time here in these early sections. It's all optimizations from just slowly getting better. We all started out having 20-minute Earth element times and, you know, improved them. This room sucks. Don't worry, everyone struggles with it. Okay. Just figure out, like, you get better at recognizing the enemy positions and calculating what's the optimal route to go through and dodge these guys. Here's a fight. 1, 2, 3 to kills them. 1, 2, 3. Ideally, finishing the fight as close to the middle of the room. Grab the key, and we're going to exit the room. If you're low on health, you can grab health either at the beginning of the dungeon, if you had a really bad Minish Woods. All of the pots that in the entrance have hearts. That right-hand pot has a heart, and also there's going to be some pots in here. The bottom left pot and this pot have hearts. So here's the Madapilla fight. We're going to try and one-cycle it, so both bop it on the nose, wait for its tail to fully appear. If you start slashing too early, you get pushed away. It's going to be harder to get enough damage in. Wait for it to go blue again, bop it on the nose, and then mash on its tail again. And then it dies in 2 cycles. We're going to hold our shield so that we're facing up, and then we're going to open this for the Gust Jar. We're going to equip the Gust Jar over the shield. I play with sword on A, but I also am weird and, like, don't have the sword on A during the intro, so, yeah. Anyway, with the Gust Jar, you, want to, we're going to use the Gust Jar to get rid of that web and not let go of the Gust Jar, but fall down the hole to avoid having to wait for the animation to cancel. And here, we pulled the lily pad closer and then walked into the Edlo text box with the Gust Jar to close it. Just a little bit of optimization there. It's going to be hard for me to explain all of the movements, so just count the lily pads. These are guaranteed hearts, by the way, those 2 pots at the top, if you need more health. Gonna kill that guy. He normally gets in the way. Might as well just kill him. So we're gonna try and make sure that we do the lily pad movement like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I get knocked off because that guy was in a bad position. That's RNG, you have to deal with that sometimes. Enemy RNG is going to dictate a lot of your movement in this game. So we kill him. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Gets us out of the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 down for good luck. I was a little bit slow there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1 to the side, and then we're good. And we open that. Oh, bad. We're supposed to do a Gust Jar here, not a roll. Gonna come and stand over to the... Gonna move until Link moves down like that, and that's when we know we're in position. We're gonna stand there. That's the visual cue for that. Open this chest for the big key. Open this up and stand on the red orb. Gonna now go and fight the boss. We can grab health here if we need it. You can also grab health in the boss fight if you need it as well. Stand away from that web, otherwise it won't light properly, or it won't get pulled off the thing properly. We're going to stand there, that's the visual cue for that, and then we're going to open the doorway here. Now we got a long cutscene here where nothing happens. So, the Chu fight, it's always 3 cycles. It doesn't have a max HP. It has a amount of time it falls down on the ground, and you need to hit it in the cycles 4 times, 5 times, and then 4 times. Those are the minimums to progress it to the next cycle. You can hit up to 9 times. It doesn't matter. It doesn't do extra damage. And to start, we're just going to... also, just hit it as many times as possible, basically. So we're going to use the Gust Jar on it whilst it's on the floor here. We got a jump in the first cycle. That's really bad luck. So it wobbled to the right at first, which means we need to stand on the right-hand side, and then it will wobble back and forth and then drop in the shortest amount of time possible. Gonna get the Gust Jar out, start Gust Jarring it as soon as as we can. So it wobbled to the right, wobbled left, wobbled right. We're gonna stay on the right-hand side, and then we're just gonna match whilst it's on the ground. As soon as it starts getting up, we get the Gust Jar out again. We got really lucky here. We got a 1 jump in this last cycle. You can get up to 5 jumps, in which case you just could constantly be switching directions with the gust jar and trying to use the gust jar to suck it up as much as possible. At the end of the fight there, we're going to walk to the middle and try and get as close to the middle as possible so Link has the shortest distance before the cutscene starts playing. And that's the first dungeon done, Deepwood Shrine. It's all movement, all optimization, no hard tricks, nothing crazy like that. If you're worried about health, all of these pots in here have health. And also we're going to fully heal on hearts after the fight anyway. So you can be on a quarter heart at the end of the fight and it doesn't matter because you grab the heart container, it'll fully heal you. So now we're done with Deepwood, we are going to go over to... we're going to go back to the village elder and we're going to talk to them. And we're going to get another cutscene. They're going to go and walk over and open the curtain. Just text smash through all of this stuff. So some loading transitions you can roll into, like the one at the end of his room. But there are some other ones that are like solid walls that when you roll into, you don't transition straight away, so you want to make sure you don't roll into those kinds of... Here we're going to equip the bombs. Halfway across the bridge, we drop and pick it up straight away. We're going to walk down and get damage boosted through like that. Taking damage into section is not going to matter for a reason you'll see soon. So we're going to roll all the way through here like this. Hopefully none of the enemies get in the way and push us out the way, but it doesn't matter if we get boosted in the right direction, that's fine. So here we're going to roll into that guy. Okay, he didn't give us the damage boost in the right direction. Not really good damage boost anywhere there, but it kind of doesn't matter. At a beginner level, really don't try and go into enemies intentionally to take damage. It's not worth it. But yeah, we go down to activate that wind crest. Very important you get that. That's going to speed up and be useful for a section much later on in the run. Second to last dungeon. So, yeah. Okay, so here's Hurdy-Gurdy. Do not mash left and right directions for him, because he has a yes-no text box, so you just want to mash up and down. Here we're going to do a save and quit, so we pause, we save, and then we start holding our inputs, A, B, start select, after the music dies down. That is when we can start buffering a reset. And we reset and then we mash through the thing and open up the file again. It's faster to do a save and quit there to skip having to watch the cutscene instead of fusing with them. It's a lot slower. Okay, so what I said with Hurdy-Gurdy about the mashing the text up and down instead of left and right, I'm going to want to do on this guy as well, too, because he also has a yes-no text box. Always do the left option. Yeah, so we do really make sure you get the spin attack. Well, you can't avoid the spin attack because you need to show it to this guy. You're going to talk to him first. Show the spin attack, standing in about this spot, he's going to move out of the way and then let us through. Yo, Bait, thanks for the good luck. So here we are going to be using another bomb boost there. We're going to equip the shield over the sword. It doesn't really matter here exactly what we equip, but yeah, we're going to use the shield to knock the rock back to the scrub. Again, no left or right mashing there because it's a yes/no text box. We want to select yes and buy the thing. We want to have bombs and bottle equipped here. And then we're going to bottle some water before we come over into Mount Krenel. Mount Krenel is a difficult section. You're going to take a lot of damage here. I'm going to show all of the health spots as best as I can. So here we're going to use a bomb. Here we're going to pick up the bomb from roughly the position that I did, maybe a little bit further away. I'm going to come in here, get a fairy, and also get those bombs, get those blue rupees. We're going to come and use another bomb here. Now, from now on, take as little damage as possible. We're not going to do bomb boosts with the bombs. It's not worth it. I'm trying to do a thing here called a roll lift, where you try and use you place a bomb and roll as close together as possible. It's it's a frame perfect trick, but you get a thing called a roll lift, and it makes the bomb fuse time go quickly. Maybe not the most good idea thing to do starting out. Don't worry about it too much. It makes the bomb explode about a second faster than normal. Don't bottle a fairy in that previous section, because we're going to be grabbing green water here, Mountain Dew. Make sure you do not dump your Mountain Dew in any of this section, because it is going to lose a lot of time. We're going to equip the sword and bombs here. Slash that red rupee. Should be on 40 rupees now. We're going to come to here, place this bomb, pick it up, throw into this corner, and then roll as it's blowing up. And it's going to open up the thing. We're going to use the gust jar, and we're going to grab that mushroom from across the ledge. It's much faster than pulling the other one. There's a text box here. Make sure you don't mash A and drop the green water. I equipped a gust jar and green water. There's a text box here as well. Make sure you roll quickly so you don't roll into that. Into tornado, just hold up left and it will take you into this tornado. That's as optimal as you're going to get. We're going to come up to here. We're going to reveal the portal here by standing in this spot, and it reveals the portal with the gust jar. Remember what I said about Minish portals? Mashing R, it shrinks you and skips the cutscene. Every new portal that we get to is going to be is going to have to force show the cutscene for the first time. So at the beginning of Chrono, we saw the cutscene for shrinking at the stone things, but now we've seen the stone things cutscene. We can shrink at them quickly by just mashing R to skip the cutscene as well. Now we're going to dump the hot spring water on the bean here, now that we put it into the spot. There's going to be a bunch of Tektites here, try and avoid them. There. Yeah, okay, these guys were in a nice position. Going to use the gust jar to jump up here, throw this rock, pull the mushroom back to this visual cube there, and jump across the gap, and then roll around like this. Hold left here, I'm going to tap up a few times until we're at this visual cue, like that, and then roll in that pattern like that. You can avoid jumping into that tornado. Going to roll up to the side of the sign, side a bunch of times, equip shield and bombs, place and pick up a bomb from this spot here. Going to throw it there. Hopefully the keypad doesn't get in the way. That section's tricky. Enemies will screw with you. Going to throw a bit of grass, because if you waste any bombs there, you can get bombs in here. Try and minimize the amount of bombs that you're wasting as much as possible. You're very tight on bombs here. You have 2 bombs you can waste in the entirety of Mount Krenel. You do not want to waste any if you can. Here is going to be a health drop if you're low on health. I wasn't low on health, so I could have continued, but if you're low on health, come in here and get a bomb, get a fairy drop. Yeah, and also if those the grass that was in the grip ring scrub, if if you're worried about your bomb count at all because you wasted a few bombs or whatever, cut all of the grass in there and you're guaranteed to like get at least one. Like you saw, I pick up and threw one bit and I got a one straight away. So amazing RNG on those boulders. They do a half a heart, so I got hit by 4 of them. We roll like this. I'm going to roll until Link's face turns red, and then we're going to release. I'm going to shrink here, roll down into this rainy section here. Don't roll here. There's an Eslo text box right here, and there's not enough time to roll, and you'll always roll into the text box, and it's just slower than walking. You can't really avoid getting hit by the rain in that section, so just do the best you can. I'm going to roll down to here. This section from here to the end of the dungeon is honestly quite boring. You do have to pay attention though, because you can lose a lot of time here, and there's some important things that you do need to pick up. Like, it's very important I'm going to pick up some rupees, and yeah, so you know, do try and stay focused. Things are going to pick up a lot more when we actually get to the next dungeon. So yeah, we're just going to be pushing these boulders into position. It's just the vanilla intended solution, but we're just doing it as quickly as possible. Push that out of the way like that. I'm going to roll to the side here. Really bad movement from here. Roll left. Roll down here. I'm going to push this block here, and that one here. Make sure you push this one down, otherwise you can't solve the rest of it, and you're going to have to walk all the way back around. So then we push this, and down, then right, and down, and then to the side. That's a very common solution in like a bunch of Zelda games. If you played loads of Zelda games, you're used to those kinds of block pushing puzzles. Here we're going to put Gust Jar over the shield. We're going to use the Gust Jar to grab the mushroom. Don't walk too far up so that you fall into the void like me. I was bad. Here we're going to place the bomb, pick it up straight away. This is a little bit tight. We're going to throw the bomb here. If you've run out of bombs, you can get bombs from the pots at the top of the room. Make sure you grab the rupee in that pot just there. That is a 20 rupee. That's very important to the route. Yeah, do not avoid that. So this is the last room of a, you know, pushing puzzle. So we're nearly done in this section. I'm going to push this statue out of the way, and then we're done. I do a thing called the slide push, where if you just slide diagonally against something whilst you're pushing, whilst like Link starts the pushing animation, he'll start pushing. So, just like a very micro optimization. Don't worry too much about stuff like that. It's literally frames. So that last room, you can get killed by those Moldozers. Roll through the middle like I did. If you go by the sides, there can be Moldozers hidden behind the leaves that can kill you. I've died there. Everyone's died there at some point. It's not fun. You have to replay the entirety of Mount Renal. It sucks, don't worry. From this point on, you're good on health. No matter how low your health is, we're going to heal before we can take any more damage, so don't worry about it. We talked to Malari to give the sword away. We're going to... we talked to that Minish as well. Now we're going to go into the dungeon. So there's health in here. Both sets of pots have hearts. I normally just break the ones on the right there like that by using the Gust Jar and stopping right before the you pick them up. We're going to use our bomb here to blow that up. You can get bombs from the bottom left pot if you're completely out of bombs. There's an Eslo trigger there, don't roll into it. We used a shield to knock those guys over. Here, we need to make sure we grab a rupee. There might be a text box there. If you've got a rupee beforehand, it doesn't matter too much, but yeah, make sure you grab a rupee in there. You have to have at least one of those rupees collected. It's very important for later. We're just going to be rolling through this section. There's an Eslo trigger here. Don't roll into it. We're going to jump into the minecart. During the minecart, we're going to equip this Gust Jar and the sword. There's an Eslo text box at the end of this minecart. We're going to pick up and throw this middle pot. That's got a bomb. Very important you grab that bomb if you, at all times. Very bad luck from for me there. I tried to grab the guy with the Gust Jar and fire him into this wall. Just unfortunate. Normally it would blow up this wall, but yeah, that sucks like that sometimes. We're going to use the Gust Jar to try and do this fight quickly. Ideally, you fire one of the Gust Jar, fire one of the guys with the Gust Jar into the other one to get a double kill. And I got really lucky and pulled the mask off the third one. So yeah, you kill the last two with the sword. It's not worth to kill one of them with the Gust Jar. We use the Gust Jar to get a double kill. We shrink, and then we're going to roll down through here. I'm just going to roll through this section like so. It's just the same kind of movement that we do. By the way, Minish rolling is a couple frames shorter than regular rolling, so if you're getting... If it's getting confusing about, like, the timing of everything, that's probably the reason why. It takes a little getting used to. There's an Eslo trigger there. We just walk diagonally to it and hit the switch. Our rolls get cancelled when we roll onto these platforms, so, yeah. Okay, so we're going to come up to the first glitch of the run. This is called Diagonal Angle Retention. So when we jump out of a hole, if we jump diagonally, Link has a glitched diagonal facing value, and it's going to be very important that we try and preserve that by using an item to lock Link's facing direction. So we're going to, yeah, like, sorry, I kind of skipped over that section there, but very important, make sure you grab that rupee. You need to be on 71 rupees at the minimum here. Make sure you've grabbed all of the rupees that I've shown so far. So we're going to set up the glitch here. We're going to move the pillar to this spot here. We're going to jump out of the hole, holding down right. Whilst we're holding down right, we start holding the sword. And we don't stop moving until we start holding the sword. Then we're free to move. We're going to walk over to this spot here. We're going to release the sword. We're going to grab the pillar with the R button. When we pull it back, it should move diagonally like that. If it didn't, go back to the hole and try again, and keep repeating it with the walking out the hole, holding a sword, and walking over to the spot. Make sure you stand completely still before you release the spin attack, and then grab the pillar. So we're going to pull this 7 times. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 7 times. Link should be stood at this position here. What's that done is deleted the loading zone. So we're going to come up to here. The pillar's off screen at the moment. We're going to walk up. I'm going to hear and see a there's going to be nothing on the R button, but we're going to hear Link pushing the pillar once. And then the R button needs to look like this. We press R to grab the pillar whilst we're out of bounds. We're going to hold down, and it's going to pull it back inbounds like this. And we're going to just keep pulling it until the pillar is at this position, in line with the hole. And then we're going to let go. We're going to push it over to the hole, and we're going to grab the key. Currently, like what we just did there, we deleted the loading zone, so now we're able to walk out of bounds. From this spot here, we're going to walk diagonally upright. I'm going to roll at very precise timing. It's going to be as soon as we enter the doorway. Watch where I do it here. There. And then do 3 more rolls after we've done that first roll, holding upright this whole time. Mash pause as soon as we hit the screen transition, and don't hold any direction buttons when you mash the start button there. And we should land always on that bridge. If you don't land on the bridge, you rolled at the wrong time, or you didn't hold diagonally upright the entire time. This pot over here has a heart. I'm gonna come over to this section here. We're going to roll to the left, and we're going to do a strat here to kill this quite quickly. Spin attack at that spot there, double sword slash kill that guy, another spin attack on that corner to try and kill them all. It helps a lot with the fight. You're not always going to get it perfect every time, and there's decaying. We currently have a key. Really important that we did make sure that we grabbed that key earlier. And we are going to come over to here and use the key to skip having to go and get the second key there. That saves a hell of a lot of time. Give all of that section there a practice. It's very important to practice that. It's very consistent, and you shouldn't get worried about it too much. It's one of the easiest glitches in the whole run, so yeah, you get a handle of that, you're good for learning all of the glitches and tricks for the rest of the game. And it's not going to be the only time that we're going to do it in this dungeon as well. We're going to do another one that's arguably even easier here. So yeah, we just go through this whole section here. I didn't mention that in the pots after the cane, where we grab the cane, there's health in there in case you're low. So this is the next room we're going to do the glitch. So here we're going to sword slash as many of these guys as possible. Throw one up here and use the gust jar. Grab him. Walk up to this pillar and place him there. It should be roughly there. It's not super precise. We're going to throw these guys out of the way here. Bottom left corner is a good spot to put them. And then we're going to throw one all the way to the end. If you... it's fine if you didn't put it right into the end. Grab another one and make sure it's thrown all the way into the end. You need at least one of these holes here available. We're going to do another angle retention. Hold down right. Keep holding. Hold R. Then let go. Now we're going to pull 6 times. This one you can't pull too many times because we're against the wall. So we're going to keep pulling like this. I release and repress to speed up the pulling animation instead of just holding. If you just hold, it's a little bit slower, but if you pull, release, and get into the rhythm of it, it's a little bit faster. So yeah, we pull as far back as we can, and then it stops here. We're going to let go, and then we're going to push it up as far as it can, up onto this wall. Now we're going to do diagonal angle retention again. We're going to hold down right, sword slash. Going to walk over to this spot here. Going to release the spin attack. I got really lucky there and I didn't get like bonked by that guy. It can be a little bit tricky to do this one, so I recommend doing a roll in the middle of it. So you hold down right, roll, and then start charging your sword, and then you can move to this spot like this. You don't want to charge a spin attack. If you charge the spin attack or sword slash this guy, you're going to get bonked away like this. But as long as you are moving with a, only with the sword held, you're going to preserve diagonal angle retention. So you're going to hold R, and then pull it once to the left, and it's going to put it inside the wall like this. Then this is going to be the very last angle retention we're going to do. We're going to hold up right, and then press R when we touch, get to the pillar. And that's done. We get pushed up onto layer 2, and we're completely done with the dungeon now. We're going to come to this spot here, go as high as you can, and then we're going to walk to the right, and then we're going to do another walk over to the right until we're at least here. You can go as far right as possible to make sure that you don't that nothing bad happens, but then we're going to press up to go into this room. I fell exactly onto this pot here, and it spawned the fairy, and I accidentally picked it up. It's very important. We're going to bottle this fairy. We need to bottle that. So either bottle that fairy by throwing it and then bottling it straight away, or there's another fairy over here. Those are the two fairies. If you don't get either of them, that's very bad. There's not really a major recovery to that. But actually, no, it should be fine. Don't worry about it. If you don't grab a fairy here, there is going to be another option of getting it much later on. So yeah, that's Cave of Flames. That's all of the glitches in there. It's you're completely brand new. Get used to practicing it, and it should become very easy after some time. So here's Gyorg. We're going to stand at this spot here and use the cane just as he's firing his first shot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do 8 hits on him. Gyorg's very similar to Green Chu. They don't have HP. They have 3 cycles, and you need to do 8 in the first cycle, 8 in the second cycle, and 5 in the last cycle to kill it. So we're going to come down to the bottom again. We're going to bait him over to like that. Gyorg, it's best to hit him from the side if you can. I'm doing a strat here where I'm like holding the button, the sword down to slash, and then start charging a stab. And then as soon as like the invulnerability ends, you can it will stab. It's a timing and a rhythm that you get used to pretty quick. If you struggle at all with it, it's fine to just mash. You can just sword mash on him. It doesn't matter, just like Green Chu. Right, last cycle here. Kind of a little bit bad luck there with him. We want to make sure he's facing down if possible, because at the end here he's going to have a white screen flash there. That is very fast. If he's facing any other direction, that white screen gets held for about a second. So it's just a little bit of an optimization. Not super vital, not super important. Yeah, you can heal. If you're worried about health, he can heal from pots and health in just before the fight. And also, in the middle of the fight, you saw I rolled through some fire and like 3 hearts dropped. Fire has a really high drop chance in this dungeon, so any fire that you see, just slash the fire to grab some health. You shouldn't be at risk of dying in Cave of Flames. So, yeah, that's Cave of Flames done. We're going to shrink down and we're going to go and get our green sword now. Really important that you get the green sword here. People forget to get the green sword and just rush immediately to Hyrule Castle here, and will not be able to get into the sanctuary. Everyone's done it once. Once you do it once, you never do it again, but ideally you don't want to ever do it, so heed my warning. Get your green sword here. Now that you have the green sword, now you can jump down the mountain. So we're going to follow this path down. This is the fastest way down. We're going to climb this ladder down. Going to roll down here, and then we're going to hop down this ledge. Cane shot that rock there. Do a couple rolls to the side here, and climb down the climbable wall here. Couple rolls around, just like this movement, like this. Nothing super crazy. There is a fairy later on in the that I'll point out that's much better to get. So here in town, very important, come and grab this wind crest. This is a very important wind crest. We're going to be using it a lot later. It loses a lot of time if you do not get that wind crest. So now that we got the wind crest, we're going to go up to castle. Also, if you forget to get the wind crest on, like, you're here and you realize, I forgot my wind crest. Just come to the castle anyway. You can get it on the way back. I rolled into an Eslo trigger because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, there's an Eslo trigger there. Don't roll into it. We're going to come down the stairs and we're going to come over to the sanctuary here. There's an Eslo trigger here. You can roll into that one. That's a little bit different. It's a mini cutscene, actually. So, yeah, you're fine to roll into that one. Fine. And this one as well. You can roll into that. That's fine. Because this is a cutscene. Okay, we just got a little bit of a cutscene there. Mash through Eslo's text box. Roll up around the pillar, the pedestal. I'm going to put the sword in the pedestal. Press R to put it in. Have a little bit of a break. I'm going to be drinking the stuff throughout, like, rest points and stuff. I'll try and point these out as much as possible. There's no massive rest break at all in the whole run, or, like, multiple minutes to be able to go to the toilet or anything, so, it's an hour and, nearly 2 hour speed run when you're starting out as well, so, well over 2 hour speed run, so, you know, bear that in mind. We're going to demonstrate the swords, we're going to do the sword demonstration at the beginning there to be able to come further down. We're going to start charging our clones right by the pedestal there and then walk it all the way down, just so that we don't have to stand around waiting for the clones to, like, be able to start charging before we start moving. But this is the clones. We've got the cloning mechanic now, so there's a lot of sections where we're going to be creating clones and using them. We'll talk about them when they come up. One important thing when you've got clones, you cannot roll. Okay. If you try and roll with clones, you'll kill them. But here is a fight. This is a little bit of a tricky fight. You can take a lot of damage in here unless you do the fight like this. So I'll demonstrate it as best I can. This is the easy strat. Gonna roll down, face up, and then we're just gonna sword mash. And it should pretty much always work like that. You're never going to get hit, they're going to be dumb like that, and fight's going to be easy. More advanced runners do a slightly more advanced strat, which saves like a second. And it's a lot harder to hit. Just do it like that and it's free. Here we got a text, we got another cutscene. So yeah, just text mash through here. Just like an intro, it's a case of you get used to where the text boxes are going to be. You get long sections like this where there's going to be no text box, and then there's going to be a text box, and then wait, and then text box. So you just get used to where all of these things are going to be. Just takes practice, experience. Just do a lot of runs and you'll get used to it. So grab that wind crest if you missed it. Otherwise, we're going to continue over to the left over here. So, we are going to create clones here. So, swords slash straight away. You want to start at the bottom, and we're going to finish with the real link at the top here, because we're going to be closest to the ladder that way. Press R to kill the clone, then walk up and roll to the side. You're going to roll through here. These enemies are all RNG. They're going to get in the way or whatever. And then, like, hands off here, because, like, there's a Link force walks here, and then we get a cutscene. Best cutscene in the game. More advanced routes are going to skip this. They do a crazy trick after getting green sword. So, yeah, this is just the king cutscene. Everyone in the community knows that it's PK-gasm because of this sound effect. So, this cutscene does a few things. From now on, the guards are going to be on Hyla in the castle, and they're going to block the main entrance, and we can only get in by going through the side section with the guards. Now we're going to be doing the Boots quest. To start the Boots quest, we need to read this sign. If you accidentally break this sign by picking up or slashing or whatever without reading it, go into the swamp and then exit the swamp to set the right flag to start the quest. Everything from this point on won't work if you don't read that sign or set the flag to start the quest. Now we're going to come into the bakery. We're going to walk to the left, don't roll in because there's an Ezlo trigger there. Going to roll up to here, and then we're going to shrink at this pot. Can't skip this cutscene. This is going to be a slow one as well. This is the pot one. This is the last of these different animations that we're going to see from this point on. All the pots that we see are going to be skippable. So another text box here from Ezlo. Roll to the side here. Left, up, left. Talk to this guy here. And we hear all of them. We get a map. Close the map. Roll down and away. People who are on Switch and Wii U will do a save and quit there because it's faster to save and quit on those versions. So they can exit that house a little bit faster by doing that. If you didn't get the Wind Crest, go get it here. I've given you so many opportunities to get this Wind Crest. We're going to throw a bomb at that spot there, and then that ideally blows up all of the rocks just like I showed. And then we're going to come and shrink at the people here. If Malon is blocking the thing here, you didn't go and talk to those Minish, so go and do that. If you didn't get the cutscene with the shoemaker like falling asleep and knocking the shoes off, then you didn't read the sign at the beginning, so make sure you go back and read that sign. We make sure we grab the spare key. That, like, all of that section was just going inside, grabbing the small key and exiting away. We talked to Talon. Yeah, we talked to Talon, handing in the key, the guy, and they open up so that we can come through to here. Try and avoid these enemies if you can. Use the cane on that spot here. Roll up to here. You should be on 74 rupees here. If you are not on 74 rupees, you missed one of the... sorry, not 74. 71 at minimum. You need to be on 71 at minimum. More than that, that's fine. You can have more. If you have less, it's bad. Back in Lon Lon Ranch, there was a cave on the left-hand side. If you go into there, do the clone puzzle, there's a chest there. That's got a 50 rupee. That should be enough to push you up to the 60 that we need for here. So we're going to come over to the witch like this. We're going to buy the mushroom for 60. We do not need rupees for anything else in the run, but it's very important that we have at least 11 rupees right now. If you don't have 11 rupees, you need more. You need to have minimum of 11 from this point on. But after we got the mushroom, we're coming back this way. We pushed that shortcut closed. It's faster than trying to jump over any of the other shortcuts. Last chance. If you didn't get the Wind Crest, go and get it now. That's 4 opportunities to get the Wind Crest. Again, Ezlo trigger there. Don't roll into it. Walk into it. And then after we've walked into it, just roll left and Link will slide around the corner and then be directly in front of the guy. Talk to him, and we're going to get the boots. Now you can stop rolling everywhere. Okay, one of the little things with the boots. Boot dashing takes a little bit to charge up, so it's not optimal to do at short distance. If you're going a distance further than 3 rolls, it's optimal to use your boots to do a boot dash. That's a rule of thumb, though. So it's it really just do it as close to the movements that I'm doing. If you're low on health here, bonk into this tree. There's a 15 and 16 chance that that's a fairy. It's a 94% chance. If you get a kinstone, you're insanely unlucky. Like, horribly. Okay, so here we've entered the swamp. Very important. Enter as low down as possible. Like, here, ideally. Gonna roll into this swamp, and we're gonna dash all the way over to this into this middle section here. Roll up a bunch of times, slash the grass, and enter this cave. Slash, roll up to here to go down the stairs. Dash over to here and roll up into this section here. Here's a Darknut fight. First Darknut fight of the game. Here's a little strat we do. We charge a boot dash and pin them against a wall like that. I got a little bit of bad RNG. If they do a dash attack, like on the second try, you just pin them against the wall and insta-kill them. You want to try and end the fight facing up towards the chest. You can cancel the cutscene and instant open the chest instead of being like frozen in place. But I got a little bit bad RNG with the Darknut fight, so what can you do? It's not going to be perfect every time. But doing that boot bonk strat, that's going to make that fight a lot more consistent for you. So we exit the cave, and we're going to dash over to the left-hand side here and to the spot here. We're going to shrink down and come over to this section here. We're going to equip the Gust Jar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diagonal Gust Blast. We want to make sure we throw in Diagonal Gust Blast because it helps speed up the lily pad a bit. I didn't really mention it too much in Deepwood. There was a bunch of other stuff going on, but yeah. So here's the Moldoza fight. This is very RNG heavy. Okay. Well, I had reasonable RNG. I just kind of missed my slashes a bit there. You want to make sure that you do not take as much, like you take as little damage as possible. Very important here. After we get this, the bow, we need to have more than 0 bombs. If you do not have any bombs, if you're on 0 bombs, when we were entering or exiting the Darknut, the bottom right pot has a bomb drop. Grab that. I forgot to do it as I went past, but very important that you do grab that. You should have also got the one in Cave of Flames. Having as many bombs as possible is very important. You need to have more than 0 arrows. You just got the bow. It's impossible to use that many arrows. And also, you need to make sure you have at least 11 rupees, and your health needs to be at 1 3/4 or higher. If to be safe, 1.5. If it's not at 1.5 or more, you need to heal up. You can either use the fairy, or you're going to have to do a save and quit and then go back to that spot where I showed with the fairy and grab that fairy. Then come back to Swamp and do another save and quit. It's very important that we equip the sword, boots, and then we do a save and quit here because we're doing an RNG manipulation. We're going to grab some kinstones. We cannot advance in the with the run unless we have these things squared away. So we're going to save. We're going to wait for the save to start going through, and then we're going to reset. We're going to mash through the title screen, hold up left, double sword slash, face up sword slash. Close the text box, stand at the spot, wait for a visual cue of the... we're looking at the visual cue of these guys that I'm stood at right here. We're looking at that, we're waiting for the bubbles to burst just like that. I didn't get both the kinstones there because I got an arrow drop from bad luck. Gonna try it again. Might have to try this a few times. Double sword slash. Got another arrow drop. Yeah. You want to not get an arrow drop. It does fail if you do get an arrow drop. So you might have to try this a few times. Okay, we didn't get an arrow drop, so we're gonna walk up to here, stand at the spot, wait, see the bubble burst, and then we get a kinstone. When you get 2 kinstones, save and quit. One of them is a green square, one of them is a green pea shape. We need 2 of those green pea shapes. That's the second one. So we're going to do the manipulation again. We need to do it well, actually, no. Sorry. I'm getting my mouse, my runs completely mixed up. Don't need to get it again there. What we're going to do, we're going to equip the, like, after you get that, you don't need to save and quit again. You just need to get the bow. And then we're going to come over to the... we're going to start getting some kinstones. So we're going to come all the way up here to this spot over here. We're going to roll over to here. There's an Eslo trigger here, so we walked a little bit away and then did a roll to make sure we didn't roll into the trigger. We're going to just do a boot dash like that and then roll up like this. We're going to grab this Kinstone here. Now we're going to do another save and quit. And we're going to do the Kinstone manipulation again. A little bit faster to come here, get that, do the save and quit, and walk back. So, same again. Going to do this movement like this. Stand over on the left like this. Visual cue. And then we get the Kinstone. Very nice. If you're unsure if you got the Kinstones that you need, check in the bag. The first green one is a green square, and then the second one is a green P, because it kind of looks like a P shape, P letter. So, yeah. You need to have 2 of the green P. If you got 2 of that, then you're good. Okay, so now, after climbing up the vine, we're going to come over to the left-hand side here. Going to fire an arrow at this Igor, roll up through him, roll a bunch of times over to the side. You can also do a boot dash. So, if you're low on health, you can go into that... push the grave there, and then there's a heart piece in there to grab more health. Otherwise, we're going to come over to here. There's an Eslo... Well, sorry, there's no Eslo trigger here. We're going to fire an arrow into that Igor, and I'm going to dash up over to here. Roll up, roll right, roll down. Jump into the tornado, hold down left. Whilst we're gliding with the tornado, I like to equip the sword here, like that. If you've just come... If you've, like, the cursor will be over the sword if you've just done the save and quit. Well, actually, forget me, I'm being stupid. Ignore everything I just said there. So we're going to sword slash that, open this chest, and grab the last of the golden Kinstones. Push this over here. We're going to do a dash and avoid that guy. So yeah, now we're going to open these wind crests. So you didn't need to open the menu to see what your Kinstones are going to be, because we're showing it off, like we see it here in this section as we do all of these. Just match up the shapes. I mean, you get used to which position they're going to be in the menu. They're always in the same position every time, so it just becomes muscle memory of, you know, pressing L to starting the menu and then scrolling down and selecting the right one. Now we're in Wind Ruins. More advanced routes are going to do a trick to skip this whole section. So, it's P-Hack Clip. You're gonna learn that before you start trying to optimize any of this stuff here. So don't super worry about it. If you're a glitchless runner, you probably would be used to this. Or if you're going to learn glitchless, then get better at this movement, because you're gonna have to do a lot of it here. So we're going to do a boot dash here, holding up right. We are going to roll up here, get a fight here by doing the movement like that. If we get lucky there, we get a heart drop from one of those guys. If not, too bad. So we're going to roll down here. Sword slash that bit of grass. Kill that guy if he's going to be in the way. Sword slash the other bit. So now that when we turn Minish, we have all of this section here that like we get to skip by going through there. Sword slash the Armos eyes levers here. Activate the Armos, roll through him, come over to here. Here we're just going to go straight up onto this portal and shrink, and then we're going to come up inside this Armos, turn it off, and regrow. Now it's not going to run into the way. If we tried going past it, it would have run in the way and closed it. We have to kill every single enemy in this section, so there's normally a rope there. Sword slash here. We're going to activate this guy here. We're going to stand here, pick up and throw the its own rock at it to kill it a little bit easier. If you get heart drops from these enemies, it's super nice. More health the better. You cannot have too much health here, so we're going to dash against that corner and hold left as we're going through here, and ideally we can slip through like that. And that is Wind Ruins done, and now we're in Fortress of Winds. Fortress of Winds is, there is one trick at the very end of it, and we're going to like set up to pretty much just do that. We're going to need the mitts to do that, and we need a key to get that. So we're going to... It's kind of skipping through this stuff. It's just a puzzle room or whatever. Here we're going to come to this spot here. We're going to... Oh, we didn't want to activate the Armos straight away, but we're going to throw the skull at the Armos and sword slash it. We're going to create our clones here like this. And then we're going to walk around to this spot here. I'm going to jostle from one switch onto the other. Despite our clones not being spaced far enough apart to stand on both of the spots at the same time, we can quickly stand from one to the other, and it triggers that the puzzle gets completed. When we're finished, we're going to activate this guy. Come over to here and regrow. I'm going to push this back over. Going to sword slash this guy. Once like that, and he's very kind and comes and stands out of the way for you, so you don't need to kill him or anything. Just that one sword slash will move him out of the way. Now we can pull the lever and drop the key down. And now we're going to follow the key down. There's a text box there. Close that. And drop down. If you were low on health at the beginning of the dungeon and were worried about anything that was going to go on in there, you could have come up in here instead. These two skulls have hearts. Also now, you can also grab more hearts if you need. Gonna grab some. We're gonna pull our bow out, and we are going to come and use a bow in this section here. Roll through this guy, walk across, roll up through there, hopefully avoiding all of these enemies here as best as possible. This is a auto-scroller, just have to wait here. As soon as we get to the top of the room, we're going to dash across, use the bow and shoot some spots there. We can cancel the bow... Oh, wait, sorry. We're going to do another strat here with the Darknut. So, as I said before with the previous Darknut fight, stand by a wall, wait for it to get close. If you get good RNG, like him, he was like getting back and ready to start dashing forwards. If he's doing that animation, you got good RNG. So, in the middle of the bonk we pause, we're going to equip the shield, the bombs and the sword. And then we're going to pin him against the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. And kill him like that. That was very nice. So, ideally how the fight should go. At some point in the run, you're going to get a mysterious shell, and you're going to get a text box for it, so just be aware that might happen at some point. Going to tank some damage through that. It's optimal to just go through like that, because here we're going to get a heart in this pot. It's also very important that you get the bomb drop in this skull as well, so grab both of those if you can. You want to be as much health as possible. I'm going to grab and throw a bomb, and then we're going to put it at like this spot here. To open this up here, and we're going to grab and the mitts. So now we're going to equip the mitts and the bombs, and we're going to do another save and quit. I was mentioning with the bow, you can cancel the bow animation by tapping the boots as soon as the arrow's being fired. So that's how we do some fast arrow shots. Take some practice and getting used to. Don't worry too much about it. So here we're going to go and come through this section again, but with the mitts. Make sure you come and grab that chest there. That's a redkin stone. It's very important for later on. Now we're going to come up through here, and we're going to shrink, and we are going to go and we're going to do portal items. Portal items is going to be the hardest trick you're going to do in the beginner route. As a beginner, as you get more practiced, it becomes way easier. So what is portal items? We slide against a portal, and as we get to the very top of the portal, we're going to use the mitts. If you do it too high like that, it does that kind of animation. We want to get the mitts to do a clank noise, and then we rotate to hold just left, and then we get sprung up onto the portal like this. I'll do that again. So it'll be like that. So we slide, mitts, clank, hit a clank, change direction, so it'll be clank, go. Practice this a few times. Don't do something like that, but it wants to look like that. The faster you go, the harder it's going to be. You'll see that you're on a timer, or you're on a fixed time, so it doesn't matter how quick you rush that, but get used to how that movement goes. It's just going to be muscle memory that you're going to build up slowly. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the bomb, then we're going to immediately do portal items. So place the bomb, portal items, like that. Then we're going to start pausing. We're going to keep pausing, and we're going to look for the bomb. Look at the bomb's shape. As soon as the bomb changes shape like that, and You want to wait for the bomb to change shape and still be blue. If it's like that, you're perfect right now. So this is exactly the visual cues that we want to see. The bomb changed shape, it shrunk for like a frame. You have like a 5-frame window to get this, by the way, but we're pause mashing there to make sure that we're watching for that bomb to be at the right point of its animation cycle. So, equip the sword and the bow, and now we're going to hold up and unpause. And we get boosted up onto layer 2. This lets us skip the entirety of the second half of the dungeon and go directly to the boss. So we're going to screen transition about halfway across, grab these skulls because they got health and stuff. The top 2 skulls always going to have hearts. I think this bottom one has... Yeah, the bottom one has an arrow drop if you need it. We can get arrows in the fight. Before we go into the boss, we need to hop down onto layer 1. So we can hop down off of the top of the doorway. Any doorway you can use to hop down. And then we're going to go into the fight. So now we're in Mazao and we skipped the entirety of the second half of the dungeon. That saves a heck load of time. Also, you can only do this on the Japanese and European versions. It doesn't work on the American version. Portal items just doesn't work on American. So, Mazao, we're going to fire an arrow at the eye and then sword mash it to kill it. It always drops an arrow. Really make sure that you grab the arrow drop when it comes out of the hand. You only really need to grab the arrows beforehand if you're like completely out of arrows, but you shouldn't be completely out of arrows. So, as soon as we kill all of the hands, we shrink down, come inside its head, and sword mash on the pillar that we saw. Try and get out of the head as quickly as possible and not get grabbed. Getting grabbed is slow, so try and get as low down in the room as possible. Even if you can get as low down as possible, you're going to exit a little bit faster. Same as the first cycle with the hand, just doing the same thing. Fire an arrow at the hand and then sword mash it. Okay, now this time we need to use the mitts and dig through. The pillar is never going to be in the same place twice, so it's not going to be in the top left spot. Like, that's how we saw it was before. So we're going to route around where we start in the bottom left and go around to the top right. Try and get as low... Try and escape the room as quickly as possible without getting grabbed. Here we're going to... I'm going to equip boots and bow, but you can equip bow and sword if you're more comfortable with that. You ideally want to end this fight on, at minimum, 26 arrows. 26 arrows is what you want to end on minimum. It was on the middle last time, so it's going to be on either side. I got lucky and it was on the left-hand side. Yeah, if you get a pillar in the middle, it's kind of a little bit bad luck, and you have to kind of just do a 50-50. Which side's it going to be? Choice. Yeah, if you're not on... If you're still low on arrows here, the pots at the bottom of the room always have arrows, so you can always just grab one. I'm going to grab this heart container. More advanced routes will decide to skip this heart container, just because we're going to be doing a death abuse in a little bit, so being on low health is good. But for the purposes of the beginner, you want as much health as possible. End of the game's going to be pretty hard. Don't want to skip out on heart containers. So, after we grab the ocarina, we're going to grab the cane and the ocarina, and we're going to use the ocarina. And now we're going to warp to Smith's house at the bottom here. If you didn't have this wind crest available, you missed it earlier on in the run. Make sure you grab that. Otherwise, warp to town and then go down. If you didn't grab the town wind crest, you had 4 opportunities. Your fault. Now that we get a text box when we exit out of the ocarina, after we did the warp, just do that movement to get to Tingle. We're gonna fuse first. We're gonna use the GP on him. Very important that you have this count of kinstones here. You want to make sure that you have 2 of the GPs and one, and you use one of them on him, and you've got the red kinstone. Very important you get that red kinstone. After we fused with him, we're going to talk to him. Very important that you talk to him after fusing with him. That's going to make the other tingles spawn. If you don't talk to him, the other tingles aren't going to spawn. You're going to go to the next tingle. He's not going to be there. You're going to have to warp back here and talk to Tingle again. So very important that you do that. gonna use the ocarina. Make sure you're facing to the side or whatever. Don't hop down the ledge, ideally, because it's going to... Zephyr's going to fly through as you're hopping off the ledge, and you're not going to get grabbed, and you're going to have to play the ocarina again. Kind of a little bit bad. So here, we're going to equip the mitts and the boots. If you have an empty bottle here, equip the bottle instead of the mitts. We're going to dash over to the side of town. We're going to fuse with this guy and give him the Redkin Stone. This is going to open the portal to Palace of Winds, second to last dungeon. That is going to speed up the game massively. We're going to cut out all the graveyard and cloud tops and a bunch of other sections of the game. It's very important that we do this fusion. And it's going to come up a little bit later, but we needed to do that. If you did not get the Redkin Stone in Fortress, you really needed to. Don't forget that. It's too slow to go all the way back and get it. You had to make sure that you got it there. If you really don't have it and you want to continue the run, go to the... I don't know why I'm showing this. You can come over to this town digging cave over here. Digging in here, one of the chests has it. I'm not even going to bother trying to point out which one it is. Just get the one in Fortress. It's very important that you do that. Okay, if you need a fairy... bonk into this tree. It's a 15 and 16 chance of having a fairy, 94% chance. If you get a kinstone, you're incredibly unlucky. I cannot stress how unlucky you are if you're getting a kinstone drop. So, we come over to here. We did the movement like I demonstrated, and like dig up through here. And I'm going to fuse with this guy. As I said, if he's not here, you didn't talk to Tingle. Go back and talk to Tingle. Very important that you do that. You might be wondering, why the fuck are we fusing with all these Tingle guys? We're going to get the magic boomerang from this quest. This is the magic boomerang quest. It's going to be used for glitches later. So we have to get it before the next dungeon. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, in this section, try and take as much damage as you can, because we're going to be using a Death Abuse. So any enemies you see, walk into them. Like that. Just try and take as much damage as you can, ideally. So we walked over to the lake, and we're going to be fusing with this guy, David Jr. You don't want to take too much damage. Like, you know, if you grab the heart container, you're not going to be able to take too much damage from all of the enemies if you're going quickly. Just don't linger around taking a ton of damage as much as possible or whatever. Because here we're going to do one more RNG manipulation. We're going to equip the boot. We're going to equip the mitts. Going to save and quit. This is the easiest RNG manipulation in the entire run. We reset. We mash. Ideally, we have mitts on A. Just going to mash A, keep mashing, and we get a kinstone. This is a green V shape, and that's the last kinstone that we need. We're going to dash around to this cave here, ideally not bonking into that. Equip the sword and start charging up our sword, and we're going to push this cave entrance open, like so. Back in Lon Lon, there was an Eslo trigger. Try and avoid that. It's tricky to avoid, so you'll notice when you run through there and then you stop abruptly and Eslo talks to you. It's a very weird shaped one. So yeah. Okay, here's the last Tingle guys, the pink one. And we're going to fuse with him. Now they are all done, we can use the ocarina again, and we can go and get our magic boomerang. So we're going to walk to town. We are going to come up to here, and we are going to go into all of these trees, and we're going to hit every single switch in all of these trees. Nothing more to say, it's just that. So this next section, we are going to be doing a Death Abuse. It's very important that you have the fairy, and you have at least one bomb available. When I was showing the portal items earlier, it's very important that you didn't use your last bomb to do that portal items. If you had to repeat it so many times that you're running out of bombs, reset the portal items trick and start again with the 10 bombs that you had. That's why we grabbed bombs in in Fortress. So you have that save and quit back there that you can use. So, we got the Boomerang. If you've got loads of health here, just come and dash over to this spot here. And we're going to damage boost down on this tree like this. Stop when you're on like less than 1 heart, and then we're going to warp over to like this. We are going to hop down off this ledge. On this guy here, we want to damage down, so we're either on a half a heart or on a quarter of a heart. Either of them are fine. And then we're going to kill this guy and do a save. Very important that we save here, because we're doing a death abuse trick here. And if it fails, we reset and try again. So we're going to equip the boots and the bombs. We're going to go into the house, and then we're going to exit out of the house. It's very important that you do that so that Link is lined up correctly at the perfect position here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use boots and bombs at exactly the same time, and I mean exactly the same time. It has to be a frame perfectly exactly the same time. It's not the hardest frame perfect trick in the world. You're pressing 2 buttons at the same time. So go like that. If you didn't press them at the same time because you pressed the boots earlier than the bombs, Link will dash without placing the bomb down. So, you know, just go back into and out of the room or whatever, and it's fine. If you place the bombs down too early, the bomb too early, then earlier than the boots, it's harder to notice. So if you can, try and maybe do like the B input a little bit earlier, and then like try and feel it out to find the best time to like do it, bam, exactly both at the same time. But we're holding the boots until we bonk like this, and then we're going to pause in the middle of the bonk like this. Going to equip the bow, and then we're going to hold up and unpause. As soon as we've unpaused, we're going to as soon as we unpause, we're going to finish bonking. We're going to roll. At the end of the roll, we're going to tap the bow once. It's very important you don't mash the bow and you don't mash the roll button. Just get used to the timing, practice it. This will come naturally over time. Sorry for audio bleeding everyone's ears here. So unpause, roll, bow. You hold up the entire time throughout all of that, and you'll die and open the door at the same time. Very consistent trick. Should be able to practice it and get very consistent at it. Also, when you die, let go of up whilst you're dying. But like afterwards, but during that whole section, do not ever let go of up until you die. Okay, now we're doing Ocarina glitch. You need to equip boots and Ocarina. I'm going to try and do the Ocarina glitch here. So, to go for the Ocarina glitch, I'm just going to show the most simple way of doing it. I'm going to roll up into this entrance with a neutral roll. So I rolled and I let go of up whilst in the middle of the roll. If you press up and walk into the house, it kills the trick. You need to reset, hold AB, start, select. Soft reset, load your save file again. Do that whole setup again. We're going to try and do Ocarina glitch here. So Ocarina glitch is a frame perfect trick. Press up and A at the same time. We have the Ocarina on the A button. So we're going to tap up, then Ocarina. If you don't get it, because you played the Ocarina, you pressed the Ocarina too early. So I pressed them on the same frame there. Dodge Zephyr, come back up, try again. Frame perfect trick. It's tricky. If you're feeling like it, you can try and do it as like immediately again after trying to like talk to Zephyr. This is the one kind of trick that is just like, okay, didn't get it. I walked into if you walk into the house like that, that's a failure. I don't do it like this, so I am really struggling with this setup, but this is the easiest and most simple setup demonstration of how to do it. So, if you fail it, kill that guy again, come back to here, equip the bombs, do the whole thing again. Never save whilst you're in the middle of attempting anything in this trick. We saved at the beginning, and then we don't save again for the rest of this trick. Okay, we do the setup again. I really don't like doing the glitch like this way, but I'll keep on demonstrating it like this as best as I can. This is, again, this is the second hardest glitch in the whole run. Depending, like, you might find this harder than portal items. So what you're looking for is, like, this is exactly what you're looking for. So you tapped up, used the ocarina, you tap up an ocarina. I'm pretty sure the reason why it was failing for me was because I was tapping up too fast. If you hold up, whilst you know, trying to do the trick by holding like up an A and keeping them held down, you're just gonna walk into the doorway and it's gonna kill the trick. But this is exactly what you're looking for. Link's facing down. He didn't play the ocarina, and he didn't walk into the loading zone or whatever. So this is exactly what we're looking for. Now, time is frozen, and we are going to make sure that we do not roll. If we roll, we soft lock. So we're going to have to walk around, use the boots to move. Time's frozen, so like these enemies aren't doing anything or whatever. Do not bonk. If you bonk, you soft lock, and you have to reset and do everything again. So we're going to dash around through here like this, and we're going to Temple of Droplets. This let us skip getting the flippers. So now when you get to the shallow water here, you can either play the ocarina, or you can jump up onto the portal and then play the ocarina. Basically, we need to cancel the ocarina glitch currently, and we cancel it by using the ocarina. The ocarina glitch is what let us walk over the water like this. So you can either use it here. I'm going to demonstrate jumping up onto the portal and then using it, but like it doesn't matter which way around you do it. If you jump up onto the portal and then you need to press R and the ocarina on the same frame to be able to play the ocarina. So you just try and press R and A. You can mash R and A as many times as possible until it works. Do not hop off the portal, otherwise you'll soft lock. But yeah, you press R and A to play the ocarina, and then you can press R to shrink down. It's a little bit bugged because I jumped like this, yeah, bugged animation because I did it this way around. So now we're in Temple of Droplets. Fantastic. There's an Ezra trigger here. We're just going to walk into that. Do not dash in. Do not roll into it. We're going to dash to the side and hit another Ezra trigger. Ice physics sucks. You're going to realize this very quickly. Just use boots on ice. Honestly, it's for the best. It's going to save so much hassle. Don't try and roll on the ice. Rolling on ice is slower than walking. But if you're using the boots, it stops you sliding instantly as soon as you use the boots. So, you know, best thing to do is to do that. We're going to come over to here and we're going to push that. We're going to push that switch into place like so. And now here, we are going to... I think it's just best if we just grab the key now, just to avoid confusion. We're going to be doing a little trick in a little bit, and having to re-grab this key every time, it's going to be a bit confusing. So don't just grab this key. Just realize that an optimization is we're going to skip this key for now and come and get it in a little bit. So here we're going to get Ocarina Glitch again off of this staircase, like so. If you walk down the stairs, you can just walk back up the stairs and keep going until you get it. So here we have Ocarina Glitch. Now we're going to boot dash over through this screen transition. Because we did a screen transition, time's no longer frozen, time is going to behave like normal. As soon as you leave the screen that you got Ocarina Glitch on, you can now roll and it won't soft lock you. Just bear that in mind. Screen wheel just on, soft lock. You leave a screen, no soft lock. But Ocarina Glitch is still active. Make sure you don't press the Ocarina, otherwise it will cancel the Ocarina Glitch and you have to go back and get it again. We're going to use the boots to dash around through here. We're going to walk up the stairs, get popped up onto layer 2. When we walk down, we are still on layer 2. Ocarina Glitch lets us walk downstairs without lowering our layer, so now we're on top of all of the walls and stuff. We're going to dash over to this section here. We're going to hop down off the staircase here. We're going to fall down. We can't fall down because we've got Ocarina Glitch, but if we rolling updates what floor tiles we're stood on. So it updates the game and goes, oh, Link has stood over a void, let's void him out. So anytime you roll over a void, it's going to, it's going to void you out. So if you roll on ice, you get ice physics everywhere and slide around everywhere. It's kind of bad to do that. So because we left that area and we had like we had a different kind of screen transition, Ocarina Glitch is over now. So now we're going to do this puzzle. So we're going to push that block to the left. We're going to push this block to the left. Push this down. And push this to the left. And come back to the boss key. Going to push it up. And now we're just pushing the boss key all the way to the end. So push it left. Push it down. Push it left. Going to get really sick of ice physics here. Going to dash over to the side and push that up. And then we're going to push it over to the side and grab the boss key. We're stuck in this area and we cannot leave, so we need to do a save and quit. So we're going to do a save and quit. There's a locked door blocking us, so yeah. We did all of that movement to skip a locked door. So yeah, we have a small key. And now we're going to be doing a skip to halfway into the dungeon. We're going to skip to the blue warp. In order to do that, we're going to do 2 tricks. We're going to do Ocarina Glitch, and we're going to do another glitch called Boss Door Clip. That's why we needed the magic boomerang. We're going to get the Ocarina. We're going to do Ocarina Glitch here. I'm doing a slight optimization to the Ocarina Glitch called Modern, where I hold up right, and then it's just you release right and tap Ocarina at the same time. More advanced runners do it because it prevents you from walking down the staircase. If you're finding it easy just to tap up an Ocarina at the same time and get it, go for that. Those are the 2 different options. So, we get Ocarina Glitch again. We're going to come round exactly the same as we did before. We're going to go to the boss door. I'm going to stand in front of the boss door. Now we're going to start doing the boss door clip. So to do it, we're going to equip the cane and the boomerang. Make sure the boomerang's on the A button. We're going to throw the boomerang to the left. We're going to tap the boomerang face down, then press and hold A. I'm going to hold it until the boomerang returns to us when we can let go. And we'll be out of bounds like this. So tap, face down, hold A. That's boss door clip. Whilst we're holding the boomerang button, it doesn't transition us into the next room. We're currently out of bounds right now. So here, I'm going to roll up here. I've rolled to the side and then up. I'm currently just off the bottom of the screen right now. And I'm going to roll... I'm going to line up the screen so it kind of looks like... until it stops scrolling. When it stops scrolling like this, I'm going to roll up. And I'm going to use the cane. So you saw there was particles effects here. You can see just on the wall. I don't know how easy it is to see, but there is like 2 effects going on. There is a... Can I do any sort of frame advance here? No, never mind. But I really hope that it comes across that there's 2 particle effects. There's a little flash and then there's 2 little dots. This is exactly what we're looking for. I'll show what it looks like when you get it wrong. That's correct. Okay, like this, it's just a flash. It's just one little bit, and that's it. That's the only thing you see. This is bad. You don't want to get that. If you get something like this, you want to tap down and then roll up again, and then use the cane again. You're looking for this. I've got it multiple times in a row. It can be a little bit hard to get sometimes. It's based on subpixels, kind of a bit annoying, but it's very important that you get this visual cue. It lets you know that you're at the right position. So now, we're just going to hold right until we hit screen transition. During the screen transition, mash pause, and make sure you have the menu up. When you get the menu up, we're going to equip the sword and the boomerang. Again, I put sword on A, have it on whatever button you want. Now, we're going to hold up, and we're going to unpause, and we get clipped up like so. If you held up so long that you transition into this room, it's fine. Just tap down and make sure that you come back into this room. You have to be in this room for this next bit to work. Tap left. You get a white screen flash like that. That killed Ocarina Glitch. We need that to happen. Then we're going to tap up, and we're in this room. And then we're going to tap right, and now we're in this room. We can only hop down the ledge here if we cancel the Ocarina Glitch. So we do that kind of movement to cancel the Ocarina Glitch. You can also cancel the Ocarina Glitch by playing the Ocarina, but it's just faster to do that movement like so. So, yeah. We're going to come up to here. We're going to hop down off this ledge and come to this spot here. When we go in front of the doorway at the top right of this corner, this room, we're going to get a fight, a scissor beetle fight. We want to use a boomerang. Boomerang's going to make this fight so much easier. So we're going to throw the boomerang at these guys, stun them. Mash them into the corner like so, and then use the boomerang to stun these guys. These guys stay so stunned whilst you're using the boomerang on them, so it just makes that fight so easy. That spawns the blue warp, and we skipped the first half of the dungeon. Massive time save. So now we're going to come down, and we're going to push this lever here. So create clones and then push this in place, like so. And then we get a little bit of a cutscene here. So there's two things we need to do in this dungeon. We need to fight the boss. We need to get the lantern to be able to fight the boss as well. So in order to fight the boss, we need to hit the two switches in this room. This is the first switch we hit. Really, 100%, absolutely make sure you hit this switch first. If you don't hit this switch first, and you do the next section and hit the second switch, you soft lock, and you can't fight the boss, so tough luck. We're going to come back over to the blue warp room. We're going to equip the boots and the ocarina, and we're going to come down the stairs. Now we're going to do Ocarina Glitch again. We're going to try and do Ocarina Glitch. You walk down, up the stairs, what? Too bad. Walk down the stairs, try again. You just keep trying. Like so. Don't roll in this room. Also, here, these are ledges. Walk directly through the middle of the staircase. If you see there's like an invisible block here. If you try and walk down here, you're gonna ledge jump, and it's gonna soft lock you. And you're going to go back to before the boss door clip and have to do it all again. So don't do that. But as soon as you leave the room, you are still in Ocarina Glitch, but now the soft lock's over. The time freezes are gone, and you can you're not going to soft lock. So now we're going to come to the bottom of this room. Don't screen transition down. We're going to screen transition to the left at the bottom of the room. We went down and then left because there's an Eslo trigger if we walked like diagonal and tried to cut out the corner, so just be aware of that. So here we're going to do like 3 rolls down, and then we're going to dash over to the left and drift down whilst we're doing so. And we're going to screen transition in this section here. We want to be where this waterfall is. If you were too high and you screen transitioned into this room, it's fine, just press down. If you're in this room, do not press up. If you go up here, it's going to warp us onto the next floor, and it's going to really screw up everything, so don't do that. Come all the way over to this room with all of these pestos and these pots. This is the room that we want to be in. We go up into this dark room, and then right into this room. And in here, now we're going to cancel the Ocarina Glitch by pressing the Ocarina and hop down off this ledge. We skipped the entirety of the second half of the dungeon. We're at the very end of the dungeon now. And dash through this section, and we're going to equip Sword as well, because we're going to go and activate the second switch, and it's going to open up the boss fight. So yeah, start creating clones. Ideally, you want to start at the top and make the real Link the bottom one. Ideally do it this way around, because if you have the real one at the top, you can accidentally break your clone, just with the orientation of everything. It's the easiest to just do it like this. So we get another cutscene. So, mash through all of these text boxes like so. Mash through these text boxes again. These two pots here have hearts. Good to get that. Roll down here, hold down right, and we get a little bit of a slide here going whilst we hit the ESLO trigger. Nice little optimization there. Not super vital, but whatever. We dash over into this room, roll up, roll right, and hold up right, and we store a little bit of momentum here. We're going to dash through this section here, dash through these guys here. Don't bother waiting for it, it's too slow. And then we are going to use the key that we had earlier to open that locked door. And we're going to dash down to here and push the lever, and we are going to start the Blue Chew fight. Blue Chew's to get the lantern. We need a lantern to be able to fight Octo, so... Right, Blue Chew, pretty much identical to Green Chew. All of the same stuff applies, except it's electric. That's the only addition. So, the the electricity is going to prevent us from being able to use the Gust Jar on it. So we're gonna hope that it jumps, it doesn't jump. And then we're gonna... This boss kind of really sucks because it's just all kind of very luck-based about how long it's... whether or not it's gonna jump whilst it's electric or not. You just have to get used to it and kind of follow the movement that I'm doing to, like, account for how long it's going to stay electric, and then, yeah, okay, so very nice. That's ideally how we want it to go. Kind of like, he wobbled left, so we're going to come and stand on the left-hand side, and he's going to drop down, and we're just going to sword mash him. It's also very important, we bait him into the middle of the room each time. So, okay, we got bad RNG here. It's random whether, like, if he's going to do a bunch of jumps like this. Oh, incredible. Yeah, this is kind of one of the worst luck Blue Chews you can get. Okay, that was very lucky. He was about to go electricity again and nearly repeat an entire electricity cycle, which loses a lot. At the end of the fight, we come and stand here just below the light, and we're stood perfectly in place for the chest with the lantern. Right. So now we are going to get ready to fight Octo. So we're going to save and quit to warp us back to the beginning of the dungeon, do a reset, and we're going to start fighting Octo. We like to do an RNG manipulation for Octo. I'm not going to show that off because you don't need the RNG manipulation to be able to do Octo. The RNG manipulation just makes the end of the fight more consistent, so... It's random. You can lose 30 seconds to a minute, which sucks, but the manipulation is very involved, and you're going to have to take some time out to learn that. It's not worth learning as a beginner with 0 run experience, so we're just going to go into the fight and learn how to fight the boss normally, non-manipped. And then all of this stuff I'm going to talk about here and show off is going to still apply in the manip. So, yeah. First cycle, we're just going to hold the shield and stand here. It's going to fire 3 rocks in a row. Always exactly like this. During this cutscene, we're going to hold left and we're going to mash roll. And we're going to stand at this spot here. When he starts moving, we do a boot dash, and we're going to pause when we get to where his tail is. We're going to equip the lantern over the boots, and then we're going to light his tail on fire. I completely missed that. Okay, there we go. And then it's very important that when we light his tail, we come and stand in his top right corner like this. Yeah, not great. All of this is very scuffed because of how I did it, but yeah. You stand in the right-hand top right corner whilst he's doing all of the bashing. And then as he's unmelting and all of the, like the water is unmelting, we move to the top left corner. We come and stand here, and we're going to wait for Octo to approach us. This is the second phase. During the second phase, it's completely scripted. It's always going to be the same every time. It's going to suck attack us, fire 1 rock, do another suck attack, then fire 2 rocks. If we know that, we're going to be able to react to it perfectly. So here's going to do a suck attack. As soon as he starts doing something, we're going to move to the right. Then it's going to do a rock, so we Gust Blast, come and stand back in the corner. I'm going to use another suck attack, so we're going to stand out of the way over here. Going to come back over and stand in the corner as we do the last 2 rock attacks. Going to stand a little bit over here. Do a bunch of rolls over here. It's 4 rolls, 2 down. Light this tail on fire, moving diagonally, and come and stand in this bottom left corner. And we're just going to sit here and wait. If you're doing an RNG manipulation, here's where you'd be watching the rock patterns and trying to see if you got a good rock pattern. So you may do some actions here, but here we're just going to sit still and use the shield. At this point, this is complete RNG. It can do one of 2 things. Either it'll fire 3 rocks in a row and the fight's over and you got good luck and you got 0 ink. You saved a lot of time. What's normally going to happen, though, Octo's going to suck you up. Octo is going to suck you, fire a rock, and then spew ink everywhere. So as soon as I get fired out, I'm holding the shield and walking back over towards Octo. Octo's going to... We're going to really make sure that we hit that that rock back, because it's... we don't want to take loads of damage in this boss fight, and if the earlier we end the boss fight, the better. So we need to hit 3 rocks back to kill Octo here. So here we got good luck. Octo fired here Octo fires 2 rocks, and that's all we need to do to kill the boss. Yeah, worst case scenario is you get 2 inks. We got 1 ink there. That's most common. You're most commonly going to get 1 ink. You should expect that. Yeah, worst case scenario is 2 ink. If you're worried about health before going into the fight, the pots in the room that we were in beforehand, they have health. I already showed the hearts that you can get in the pots on the left. The pots on the far right as well also have health. I'm going to equip the ocarina and the boots, grab the heart container, go into the green warp. Now we're going to hold it up, walk into the exit for the dungeon, and leave the dungeon. And then we're going to get cutscene play. So, the king is going to give us a bunch of story cutscene stuff now about going to the graveyard. We're going to skip that entirely, and we're going to go directly to the next dungeon. Well, okay. We're not going to go directly to the next dungeon, because that would lose a lot of time. We're going to upgrade our sword. It's very important we get the blue sword right now. Another major mistake, like I said with the green sword, people forgetting to get the green sword and going to the next section, rushing through too quickly. You need to upgrade your sword here. So we are going to be rolling through this guard section, avoiding all the guards here. Gonna equip the sword here. Do a little nice little boot, shimmy through there like so. Don't take as much damage as I'm taking here. Try and avoid these guys if possible. But we're going to upgrade our blue sword here. So we're sneaking through the guard section. Okay, that guard section I went through really quickly. Yeah, you just go through quickly. It's honestly not hard if you just go as quickly as you can. If you slow down at all, they're going to spot you. Trust me. Just go as quickly as you can, like I showed. As soon as you enter the garden, just do that movement. It's not super precise. Just make your way through. You don't even need to do like super optimal rolls like I did. Just roll on any big open stretches and just go straight through. If you're on the American version, stop trying to speedrun this game. Those guards are going to be much better at spotting you, so that's just super tricky. So when we get our blue sword, we're going to start charging clones straight away, and as soon as we get past the pedestal, and then we're going to walk with the charged sword all the way down. We're going to exit the castle now, just the way we came from. Up through here, we're going to equip the ocarina. So you might be worried about my menus being so super optimal, and I'm like, blah, blah, and then it's like it's instant. It comes naturally over time. Don't worry. Don't be trying to just like mash through these menus as quickly as possible. I also had awful menus when I started out. Don't worry about it. So we warp to South Hyrule Field, coming into this portal. If the portal's not here, you didn't fuse the red kinstone with the guy. Go do that. And another reminder. Have your blue sword. If you do not have your blue sword, go and get it right now. You cannot continue if you do not have your blue sword. Okay, we're going to be doing more Ocarina Glitch. We just need to do it twice in a row. So I'm just going to do it off here. I was facing the wrong way. So this is what Modern looks like if you fail it. Instead of walking down the stairs, you do a little pop out of the doorway like this. Ocarina Glitch is a glitch that I like to say you either get first try or you get 10th try. There we go. So we get the Ocarina Glitch so we can walk through her. And then, yeah, we go up the stairs. Now we need to do it a second time because there's another NPC here. Let's see, I got a first try. Right, it's just like that. We're going to come over to here, throw that pot, and we're going to get a fairy. It's very, like... just bottled a fairy here. Only super top runners that are incredibly confident about their abilities are going to just skip getting that fairy. It's not worth skipping. Yeah, don't pause again. And anyway, we're going to go into Palace of Winds now. Palace of Winds, a little bit of a tricky dungeon when you're starting out, but everyone at like higher level super loves this dungeon. You're gonna grow to love it. It's a super fun dungeon. It's all execution, no luck, no really hard tricks, and it's, yeah, very fun. Sorry, you should have had boots and bottle equipped here or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't super matter because we're gonna equip the sword and the boomerang here. In a sword slash this, come around to here, boomerang through that. And hopefully the boomerang on the return trip's gonna take out all of those P-hats and hit the switch. Nice, okay. Throw the boomerang to hit these P-hats, or you can even throw the skulls at the P-hats. Oh, that skull I just threw, you don't want to throw it off the ledge. It has an arrow drop. Try and get that arrow drop, if you can. Yeah, I threw the boomerang over to the side to hit that switch over there. Okay, so these guys are going to be really annoying. If you're stood in this area up here, they're always going to jump at you, so you can use that to your advantage. And come and push this block up, like so. That room is super awful, really sucks. Enemy RNG up the wazoo. You just have to get used to it. It's the worst room in the dungeon, in everyone's opinion, so it's all good from this point on. I'm doing some like cool optimizations here. This is an auto-scroller, you don't need to care about that room too much, just don't fall off. In this room, we're going to roll up through here, try and avoid taking as much damage as possible, but sometimes the enemies are getting in the way. If you do get set on fire, you can get put out from being on fire quickly by mashing, like all of your directions like so. So in this room, we're going to walk down and we're going to throw the boomerang like so. We're going to roll across like this. Sword slash this switch, and now we're going to equip the lantern and the bombs. We're going to do a fight here that it's going to be a good idea to try and do the bomb strat to do it with optimal cycles, but it can be a bit tricky. You're going to have to practice this quite a little bit. If you have 0 bombs right now, it's not too much of an issue. You can basically don't... you're going to walk to the next set of platforms and throw the boomerang and try and hit the switch with it whilst you're in the next section. But here, we're going to place the lantern... We're going to equip lantern and bombs. We're going to place the bombs here. We come over to here. If you didn't have any bombs, you'd stand here and throw the boomerang and try and hit the switch from here. So we're going to grab 2 skulls here. Going to grab this skull because it's a heart, and this one because it's a bomb drop. Guaranteed, always going to grab those. So we're going to come and stand at like this spot here. I'm going to place and pick up this bomb. And I'm going to walk up to trigger the fight. Stand here, throw the bomb, light the lantern, come and stand here. When you light this guy on fire, you're going to place 2 bombs down and pick one of them up. And then we're going to walk over to the middle of the room, and we're going to throw the bomb from the same position that I showed before. And then we're going to walk down to the bottom of the room, light the bottom guy on fire, and light the top guy on fire. And in here, we mash to place down 3 bombs, if possible. Now, we grab these bombs, throw 1 left and 1 right. Imagine that there's, like, it's a tennis court, and there's a line going down the middle of the, like, arena. You want to be on your side and serve the bomb over to the other side so it doesn't fall off the edge. That's how I like to think about it and memorize it or whatever, but yeah. Don't stand exactly in the middle and then throw left and right, because you're going to throw the bombs off the ledge. Grab 1 bomb, walk left, throw it to the right. Grab the other bomb, walk right, throw it to the left. Little bit tight. Give it some practice, you'll get used to it. Now, after we've thrown those bombs, we're going to walk down and we're going to light the bottom 2 guys on fire, and hopefully the bombs take out everyone else and they all die. And that's the fight. A little bit tricky, but with practice you're going to get used to it. And there's the cape. Anyway, that's how I like to do it as well. Not everyone's going to do it exactly the same way. Find the best way that works for you. Everyone kind of does that, but I wanted to demonstrate the way that I find the best. Cape. Cape is a very strong item. It's going to let you jump over so many things and speed up a lot of movement. To go up to the next floor faster, we're going to come to the 3rd cloud, stand at, well, it doesn't really matter, but you want to run up and jump from the top of the cloud, and we're going to do a glide all the way to the top of the room. You need to do a cape extension. There's 2 ways of using the cape. You can either press and hold the button, you just keep it held down the entire time as soon as you go, so just bam, hold, and that's just a solid cape glide. And then there's something called a cape extension, where you tap so that Link hops, and then you wait a little bit as Link is like mid-air, and then as Link gets a little bit of distance, then you press and hold, and then Link will deploy the glide and fly. That cape extension lets you jump about a tile further than normal. So we're going to use that to get a little bit further than normal, and we're going to use it here, so you do it here. So tap, jump, tap, glide. Now, we're going to be doing a strat in this room. This is called Dream Jump. What we're going to do is, as soon as we land from the screen transition, we're going to press and hold and do a solid cape jump until we land, like so. When we land, we're going to hold down, we're going to tap the cape to hop. Once we've landed, we're going to keep holding down, and then when we get to the bottom, we're going to shift our direction to down left, and then we're going to press and hold until we reach the platform. Oh, okay. I did my movements completely wrong. Alright, let's try that again. It's hard to walk and talk this. Oh yeah, be warned, there's an ESO trigger here. That's why we did the cape jump directly to the bottom cloud. If you don't and you land here, there's an ESO trigger here. Also, the beginning of the room, watch out for the ESO trigger. Didn't point those out at the beginning, but yeah, watch out for those. So we're going to do the same strat here. We're going to go and glide up to here. We're going to do the full cape glide, hop, and then diagonal glide. That simple. And sword slash that guy. He's always going to be there. Gonna come and attack you. So we're gonna jump up through the grate. Gonna stand here, diagonal cape jump up to this cloud. Hopefully you land on the cloud here. Then you're gonna jump up to the second, and then third cloud. Third cloud again. It's like the first one, 3 clouds. This one, 3 clouds. Do a cape extension. Now, this room. This room, we're going to do another glitch. It's going to be called Stair Clip, and it's going to help us skip a load of auto-scrollers and moving platforms and stuff, and it's really nice. So we're going to equip the boots and the bow. We're going to use the bow, and then we're going to come and stand here. We want to stand in this position, facing down with the bow. I'm going to walk to the right to fall off, press and hold with the bow, walk over to the left. We do not press up or down at all whilst we're doing this. And then we're going to tap left and right when looking to do a pixel alignment. We're trying to line up Link. Link will be very nice. Exactly like this. Have a look. It's, you know, the tip of the arrow is not exactly pointed at the corner of the, like, the black pixels of the lantern. It's 1 pixel off. There's 1 yellow pixel in between the arrow tip, the lantern, and the stair that we can see. Tap the boots to put the arrow away without having to fire it. Now we're gonna press and hold the boots. I'm gonna hold right whilst the boots are starting to charge up, like so, like that. We're gonna bonk off the screen transition, but we're on layer 2 now. This is exactly what we want. If you're fast enough, you can then start holding down right to get a instant screen transition going. If you don't, it doesn't matter, bonking's fine like this. But don't hold down right whilst doing that trick, otherwise it won't work. You have to hold only hard right. It's the only way it's going to work with that boot dash. If you don't clip, and if you bonk off of the staircase, go back to where I fell down, repeat, and try again. It's a 100% consistent setup, should always work. Now, screen transition down into this room. Face right and boot dash straight away. We don't want to get grabbed by those hands. They can grab you and it loses so much time. It's going to boot dash all the way to this room. We're going to roll down to the top of this staircase, this doorway. I'm going to tap left and I'm going to land inbounds in this room. This just saved so much time. Kill that skull, fire an arrow at that switch, and grab the key here. We're going to equip the boots and the cape. We're going to... I do like a little back walk and then roll forwards. It's not super vital to do that. But then you do a cape jump over here, boot dash down to here, boot dash over to here. Now we're going to do another glitch. Hey, remember Cave of Flames when we did angle retention? Oh, that was so long ago, wasn't it? We're doing angle retention again. This time, we're going to use it in conjunction with the cane shot on the hole to do a trick called Warble Hop. That's going to get us up onto layer 2 and it's going to let us skip this locked door. So we're going to equip the shield and the cane. It's very important that you are very fast with your movement to get to this spot. So when you dash down and then dash across and then hop down the ledge straight away. There's a rolling pin on a moving cycle. We're trying to get this before the cycle with the rolling pins reaching us now. If you don't get it, it's fine. Just wait for the rolling pin to move out of the way and then try again. But we should land in the hole right now. I'm going to hold diagonal retention down right, hop out of the hole, and hold shield. Then we're going to walk around so that Link is facing towards the hole, cane shot, and then walk into the hole. Again, keeping angle retention this whole time. As soon as we've done the cane shot, we hold shield and then we walk into the hole. Or, if you want to be even like super easy, just don't press anything and the rolling pin will knock you into the hole. So we're going to show it here. Diagonal angle retention. Hold shield, walk into the spot. Cane shot. Get knocked into the hole by the rolling pin. And you diagonal jump up right, down right like that. And we're on layer 2 now. Now we're going to equip the cape and boots. But yeah, Warble Hop, you can just repeat it over and over again until you get it. It shouldn't be too hard. If you got used to angle retention, Warble Hop is super easy trick. You're going to get it every time as well. We're going to boot dash completely to the left here. Clear the doorway and then diagonal jump from the bottom all the way to the top of the screen. We don't even need to climb those clouds whatsoever. That moblin is getting a bit close to me. Going to jump over to here. Going to roll, jump over here and hold, like we did that's a little bit of a tricky jump. But if you do the movement like I did there, and you do a cape extension, you should completely clear all of the void and land on the other side. It can be a little bit of a tricky jump. You can void out. Also, it's nothing too major. I'm going to roll over to here, push this, push that, and then boot dash over to here. Roll down, and if we're perfect with our movement like that, not exactly perfect, it is a little bit lenient, you can get that cycle. If you don't get that cycle, it's fine. Wait for the fan to start blowing again, and then jump and get like pushed by the air blast over to the side. We're going to boot dash up through here. Jump over to this spot here like that. I did a very funky cut through there. It's, if you can't quite get that and void out or whatever, just roll right and then hop up like so, and then you're gonna hop up to this platform like here, hop up to this platform like here, boot dash up through here. I like to jump from here, like so. You need to hold a bit of a diagonal. You hold up and then a little bit to the side, and you land on this cloud. Or you can just boot dash all the way up to underneath here and then jump straight up. It's a little bit faster to do it the way I did. You have to be at least on the bottom cloud here. You can't be on the ground. You can go higher up, but there's no point. From here, we're going to do a cape extension to get to this side here. Roll across, do another cape extension. Ideally, we get up onto the second cloud. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be on this lower, like on the first cloud up here. Actually, this next jump works from the bottom, but we're going to do a cape extension like so, and then we're going to jump from there up to this first cloud, and then the second cloud. This is the last clouds we're going to be jumping up in this dungeon. Second cloud from here. If you're finding it hard to remember the clouds, it's 3, 3, 2, or just always jump from the third and you're never wrong. So yeah, we're going to jump from this bottom cloud, cape extension, very easy. Cape hop down left, and then we're going to boot dash into here. Try and avoid the damage from these guys, so we're going to cape jump over them. Whilst we're in midair, we're going to equip the sword and the cape at the same time. So this is the chain soldier fight. They die in 1, 2, 3, 6 slashes. We can, or is it 5? No, I'm pretty sure it's 6. So yeah, I mean, I'll just show it like normal anyway. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we cape jump over the top of their heads. If you cape jump over the top of their heads, they'll, whilst they're doing their ball swinging around in a circular motion, they'll just throw every time. So that's how you bait them into firing, and then these guys become super easy when you get that in. Like if you jump over their head, then they get baited and they're very open and vulnerable to just sword slashing and whatever. So yeah, we did the 6 sword slashes of that guy, diagonal down right jump and jump over the second guy. And now we're on the other side of him. We're going to do 6 more slashes to kill him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to stand down left and jump up left. Try and grab the key mid-air. If you're swag, you can grab the key mid-air. I'm trying to just demonstrate everything and talk at the same time, so I'm just going a little bit too slow for these little optimizations. Now, if you're low on health, grab this fairy. Use a boomerang and fire, throw it at that fairy. We have two keys here, so yeah, open these 2 key doors, and we get the magic. We get a boss key. You know what we can do with boss key? We can do boss door clip. So we're gonna skip the entirety of the second half of the dungeon and go directly to the boss by doing boss door clip. So boss door clip works exactly the same as it does in Temple of Droplets. Gonna throw the boomerang. We can't throw it to the left because there's a wall right here, and if you see, boomerang's going to return to us straight away. You need to face up and throw the boomerang in this spot here. Very important distinction with Temple of Droplets. So you can do it with the boomerang, or you can use the lantern instead as well. Lantern also works. Very important distinction when you're using the lantern. It can only be done with the lantern on the B button. With boomerang, you can have it on any button. You can have it on A, B, it doesn't matter. Lantern has to be on the B button. Won't work if it's on the A button. For demonstration purposes, I'll show it with the lantern because I've already shown it with the magic boomerang earlier. So here, we're just going to press B, and then we're going to tap R whilst the lantern's turning on. So, like that. Boom. That's the timing. Very simple. So, I mean, I turned off the lantern straight away. It doesn't matter. As soon as you, like, the trick is incredibly easy when you use it with the lantern. We are going to, yeah, just make sure that you press the lantern first before you tap R or A or whichever other button you're using to open the door. So from this position out of bounds, we're going to roll to the right twice, 1, 2, and then it's going to pop us up onto layer 2 on this position here. We're going to walk back over to the left, and then we're going to walk up. We get a white screen flash, and we're in this spot here. Hold boot dash, and we're going to walk dash up to here. Hold up right in this room, and we get a diagonal transition like so. I'm going to stop about this position here. On the right-hand side of the room, you can see that island. We're aiming it in line with like the top of that island here. Like here, like it just wrapped around in here. It's about the height that we're looking for. Start doing a boot dash, hold drift up like so, and oh look, we're right in front of the boss fight for Gyorg. You want to be on full health, if possible. You want to have a fairy as well. If you died at some point in Palace, you can farm that spark with the boomerang for fairies. Have a fairy in a bottle and be on full health ideally, and then you can go into the Gyorg fight. Gyorg's a tough boss at first, so I mean, all runners at all levels will still have trouble with them sometimes. So, right, Gyorg. This boss is going to be a little bit tricky. Try and follow as closely all of the movements that I'm doing. There's too much to explain all in one go, especially as this video is like supposed to be an overview. But I'll try and show the easiest things and the most obvious things that you should be doing to try and make the fight less tricky. So, start charging swords straight away and stand off of... it doesn't matter too much in this part, but we're always going to make clones in this exact pattern like this. We don't need to wait for the eyes to open to see what pattern it is and try and match it up. Just make your clones at like that pattern always. When it's facing other orientations, just rotate that pattern around and you're good. Other patterns do work as well. It's pretty lenient, but if you get used to always doing this one way of doing it, then you're always going to get more used to that and it's always going to work. So we're going to come and stand at this spot here, like so, and then we're just going to mash until it dies. We're going to kill our clones by pressing R, and we're going to jump onto this guy. We missed. But it's fine. Start charging a spin attack. We're going to be looking on the blue Gyorg for its 4 eyes. We try and stand in the middle while charging a sword slash facing up. You want to spin with the sword facing up because the spin attack AoE is biggest when it's facing up. I know there's a different... It actually changes the size depending on your orientation. Shocker. It only really matters in this boss fight. It's a little bit more lenient if you're facing up whilst doing it. Other orientations, it's a lot harder, so... face up. Now, when the eye opens, as quickly as you can, like super fast reactions here, like holds that direction to walk in that direction and then release A so that you get like a little bit of movement in that direction and spin attack straight away. Don't delay the spin attack as much as possible, because like do it as quickly as possible, the spin attack, because delaying it's going to make this not work. So we look for the eye. There we go. We got a double hit in there. That's good. Eye is dead. The boss is going to... The blue Gyorg is dead on this cycle. It's going to return us to the red Gyorg. We can start the next part of the cycle. If we only got 1 hit in, it's not dead. So we're going to have to cape hop as we... like. It's going to swing its tail around. We're going to have to cape hop and make sure that we don't get hit by it. Try and dodge the tail as much as possible. We want to take as minimal damage in this fight as possible. Avoid the tail. The tail is so deadly. It does so much damage. Yeah, so yeah, you failed the doing a spin attack first try. You only got 1 hit in. You need to do 2 regular sword slashes on it on the next cycle. So don't bother doing another spin attack if you've already hit it at least once. If you didn't hit it at all, try and do another spin attack. But if you if you got 1 hit in, wait for the eyes to open again, sword mash on them, and get 2 hits in. If you get 2 hits in, then the boss fight is... then this cycle is dead. Now, we're on to the next red phase. Start charging your sword straight away, like so. We can walk off of the blue Gyorg with our swords partially charged, start making our clones, and start hitting the eyes straight away. Dodge that first... Gyorg orb. If you've been doing everything like I've shown, even if you had had to repeat that blue cycle that we just finished, these orbs are going to fire at exactly the same timing every single time. You're going to get used to it. You're going to practice this, and you're going to be good at Gyorg, because you're going to get used to how the direction that these particles, like these orbs, fly at you. So pay attention, learn it, get used to it, do it a lot, and you'll get used. And yeah, you'll get used to how this works. So anyway, we're trying to get as much damage in on these eyes as possible. You want to hit as many eyes as possible with all of your clones. You're trying to centrally position so you're sweeping and hitting as many of the eyes as possible. You can only get a set amount of damage in per cycle. And the total amount of health that the boss has right now is the same amount as double the amount you can do in each cycle. So this is forced to cycle. If you don't get the max cap in, then it's not going to be able to be, you won't be able to two-cycle this section. So you do want to try and sword slash as many times as possible on this guy in this section. But beyond a certain point, no extra damage. It's not going to do any, extra damage, but anyway. So yeah, I'll be trying maximizing as much damage there on those eyes before they closed. Now, when the eyes close, we want to stand away, because these orbs are always going to fire towards where Link is, which means we can bait them. Get the orbs firing away from Link when there's no eyes there, then as soon as the eyes are about to spawn, we go up and get ready and start slashing like as the eyes are spawning, basically. And the orbs are missing us, and we're getting a bunch of free damage in on the boss, like so. Okay, it predicted our trajectory. Okay, that really sucked. Yeah, so that was really bad. We didn't get enough damage in on that to two-cycle it. We just walked directly into the orb. It's hard for me to walk and talk this because it's so fluid and natural. You're gonna get do not pause when you're doing this. Like, just go from start to finish on the Gyorg fight and get the rhythm and the movement and like how used to it you should be, and it'll become much easier. It's hard when I'm pausing and talking and explaining and then carrying on. But anyway, get your clones up again. Try and not get hit by the orbs. There we go. It was a couple hits off. That sucks. As soon as the eyes die, kill your clones, jump onto the blue Gyorg as quickly as possible. Now we get another blue cycle. It's going to be exactly the same as the previous one. Same principles apply. Also, at the end of that last cycle, if you didn't get hit by the first orb that fired at you like I did, and there's another orb that's coming at you, if you're getting a lot of damage in, it can be worth just to tank that last one and just to do a couple more slashes to try and finish off the that cycle. You're trying to do a 2-cycle on that. It should consistently be a 2-cycle if you practice it. There's no RNG involved in that part, other than the blue Gyorg doing tailspin, but that doesn't affect the second red phase. That's all completely consistent. You should be a practicing expert at that in no time. Okay, blue Gyorg. I'm going to do the same face up, stand in the middle, wait for the eye to open, down left. Yeah, there we go. I accidentally fell off. It's not the worst thing in the world if you fall off. You're going to respawn back on the red Gyorg. If you don't respawn back on the red Gyorg and you're on the blue Gyorg, it's because the fights that phase isn't over. So kill the red Gyorg, you'll and then it will start sending you back to the red Gyorg. But you wanted to do the same thing like you did at the end of the first one, where you start charging your sword because you want to start making clones. So we're going to do that now. The eyes are going to open a little bit earlier than we would like because the oh, hello. Ooh. Okay. Trying to maximize the amount of damage that we can get in. Yeah, so the eyes opened a little bit early because we respawned. The eyes open on a fixed timer as soon as we touch the red Gyorg. So because like we warped back there and started to have to charge our clones, we were very late with charging and making our clones and getting into position. Okay, this is the third red phase. This is full of RNG. This is going to be very hard to get consistently. You can just get completely screwed over by RNG. This is definitely the scariest part of the fight. Try and keep your clones alive as long as possible. Channel your bullet hell dodging skills. Here we go. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, so there it took so long for me to like get my clones up, go and hit the eyes, do that first cycle. That in the second cycle, my clones died, like ran out of time halfway through. Even if your clones die, you can go and stand in the middle and then like sword slash and like all try and get sword slashes in if you can, trying to hit as many eyes as possible, to end that phase as quickly as possible. Yeah, so yeah, if your clones die and you're close to killing it, really do like go and mash it like until the eyes close. When the eyes close and the boss isn't dead, you can start charging clones again and make the next set, go and do the next cycle and repeat. But yeah, it's common that the eyes are going to sorry, it's going to be common that your clones die and just try and get as much damage in as possible. You can save a cycle by doing it. So this is the last blue, the third blue cycle. The blue's going to come to the middle of the red Gyorg. We're just going to jump onto its back. Now is when the green guys are going to get involved. So here, when the blue Gyorg's always going to move exactly the same. It's going to move to the middle. We're going to jump onto it. Then it's going to move to right and then down and then left. Whilst it's moving over to the right like this, we wanted to sword slash and kill any of the green guys that were coming at us like that. As soon as like it's rounding the corner, we want to be charging our sword now. Before it's like fully rotated and done its turn, we need to be charging our sword. And now it's gonna an eye is gonna open. It's gonna be a very nice visual cue for us here when the eye opens. The eye is gonna open when the blue Gyorg passes the middle of the red Gyorg. Like so. So we can perfectly time our sword slash there. We know when it's going to go off. And yeah, we got a good position on it, so we got another double hit and we insta killed the blue Gyorg. Now, here we're going to charge a sword attack. There will be some green Gyorgs that are coming at us there, so make sure you sword attack them. We're going to charge our sword and we're going to face up and we're going to try, if possible, and hit these eyes cloneless. This relies on luck, so we're going to start charging up and we're going to start looking at this eyes. We got good luck here. Why was it good luck? The eyes were all together. So there's always four eyes. There's always four positions the eyes can be. The top two in the middle, the bottom left or the bottom right. The closed one, we want to be either the bottom right or the bottom left. If we get either of those patterns, we got good RNG. So to get the cloneless cycle, all we need to do is point the sword exactly at the very middle of the center of all of the eyes, the very center of the big blob of eyes. Just release a spin attack. We'll hit all of them. In this pattern that I got, with the bottom right eye being closed, and like it's the left hand pattern I like to call it, because all of the eyes are on the top middle and the bottom left. If it's the other side, it's a little bit trickier. You basically want to point the sword at the middle of the because if it's right hand side, you got the top two eyes in the middle, and then the bottom right eye is going to be the other one that's open. So the right hand eye on the top is the eye that you want to point the sword at the middle of its eye and release the spin attack. It's a bit precise. If you can get it, you'll just do the spin attack and it'll hit all of the eyes. But I'll demonstrate it here like so. Like this, bam. Then we didn't even need to create our clones at all. And that's the fight over. If you don't get a good RNG like I did there, just make clones like the pattern I showed. Watch out for the green Gyorgs. They will be coming at you, so don't make your clones instantly. Dodge a wave, create your clones, then go up and hit the eyes. But at that point of the fight, it's the very end of the fight, it shouldn't be too difficult whatsoever. Okay, there's the wind element collected, and hopefully you didn't die in Gyorg. You die in Gyorg, it's a run ender. That's why we want to make sure we're on full health and we get the fairies. I didn't have a great fight. I took a lot of damage, got hit by a lot of the projectiles. Those orbs do a whole heart of damage. Really do avoid them if best you can. Grab the heart container. We're getting out of here. We're going to go to the final dungeon. The Dark Hyrule Castle. I did a lot of explaining there for Palace, but we are going to be able to hopefully zoom all the way on and into Darkrow Castle now. So we're going to go through the guard section again. It's exactly the same as the previous one, so we're just going to roll through here. Like, I'm going super fast and optimal. You can even walk through. It's that easy. Just don't stop. Just don't try and, like, dodge any of the guards. It's, yeah, just go exactly through the way I did like that, and it's easy. Okay, so this section's a bit boring. This is like you're going to be stewing in your angst as like you're like, oh damn, I'm like 5 minutes ahead of PB. I'm gonna I'm coming up to the hardest dungeon now. You got no gameplay here to distract you. It's just going to be cutscenes for the like next couple minutes. So we're gonna have the P break coming up. You have exactly 40 seconds in the next cutscene coming up to that you don't need to do any inputs on the controllers. But yeah. So we just go to the pedestal, read it, and come up here, and oh no, I reset the game. Oh no. What a shame. Also make this joke every single time you get to this point in the run. Streamer, why did you reset? No. Check your DMs. Don't know, do any... Say hi to chat. Do whatever else you want. Right, and then we're gonna have the end of the cutscene here. So we get the Zelda painting here, end of the music plays, and then we get a text box there when the screen goes black. More text boxes here. And mash through all of the Vaati text boxes here. Make sure you equip the Force Sword as well, because we're going to use it in a second here. So we're going to get to where the pedestal is, and we're going to start charging a sword, charging up clones. Then make 4 clones, like so. You could make Link on the one on the little bit on the inside. It's slightly faster, it doesn't matter too much. Here's a trick called cutscene walking. Saves about 11 seconds, it's worth going for. We're going to do 2 rolls down, line up with this bottom... I've never done that before. Okay. Yeah, okay, sorry. I just unfroze a guy who was off screen there. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, you see where Link's shadow is? You're lining up the bottom of Link's shadow with this black line that's going across the middle of that section, like so. Link is... I got it lined up exactly perfectly here. You're aiming for roughly here. You can be a few pixels up or down, it doesn't matter too much. But you do want to be semi-precise with this. Don't be too far out, otherwise it's not going to work. So just charge a sword, move over to the side, release, and then hold down. I'm going to hit an Eslo trigger here, whilst the beam hits the Minister. And we're going to start the cutscene for saving the Minister after we close the Eslo text box. We now have control of Link. We're going to start charging immediately. Wait for the sword beam, or the sword charge thing, to reach the third to last heart, second to last heart, roughly in the range that I just did here. Actually, I can just let go now. And you're going to release at around about this point. Again, yeah, another text box. Do another sword spin here and save the bottom guy, like so. Cool. That, and if you fire the last one, you unfreeze the bottom guy, and you ideally have all the cutscenes playing, and you can walk around with Link simultaneously. Okay, now we got into Dark Hyrule Castle. So we're going to be doing quite a lot of glitches in this dungeon. This is the hardest dungeon in the whole run. It's quite technical. Lots of luck involved, lots of hard enemies, going to take a lot of damage. Best of luck. So here we're going to be doing a setup for another stair clip, just like in Palace of Winds. Ideally, we're going to be doing this movement like this to try and make sure that we are always going to clip through every time. I'll go through some instances where we don't clip through every time as well, because this one is more luck-based and can... there's a moblin going to be in the way. That can screw us up. So if we're lucky, he's not going to be in the way. If we're not, too bad. Right, so I'm going to walk down into the Eslo trigger. Do not press left or right after you've entered this screen. Like, when you're entering the screen, all you want to be doing is holding down. I'm going to hit this Eslo trigger, and we're going to close the Eslo trigger. We're going to sword slash left. So we're going to sword slash, mash sword, and press left whilst we're sword slashing, and stop. Link is now facing left. We call that a sword turn or a slash turn. Link didn't move position whatsoever and is now facing in the right direction. So here we're going to do a boot dash. We're going to charge boots and hold down left, like so. During the screen transition, we stop. We let go of everything. We're going to slash turn down now, like so. Ideally, we don't want to move at all. Make sure you're slashing and press the down direction in the middle of your sword slash to be able to do it like this. Okay, so now we're going to hold the sword and we're going to move over to the left. I'm going to push around this guy. Dude, this guy. Yeah, so this is why this trick kind of sucks, because that moblin is going to be in the way and is going to really screw it with us. But when I walk to the left, I don't want to walk up or down at all. I naturally get pushed around the corner by the corner of that stair. We're going to walk up as high as we can here. Get this guy to move out the way. If he spots you, just move over to the right. Hopefully he moves away. We're going to tap over... Dude, go away. I'm trying to show a trick here. We're going to move until Link is in this position like so. I like to look at Link's ear. His right hand ear, like his personally left ear, but like when we're looking on the to the right of Link, that ear that's furthest down the stairs, that's the ear you're looking at. There, that's the right alignment. We're gonna dash and hold right, and it should clip us through. We didn't get clipped. This guy, okay, right. Or sometimes you're just going to have to kill the moblin because he does not play nice. He is really awful. Okay, if it didn't work, then you need to hold the... you come down to this spot here. Start holding sword. Move right so you get pushed around that corner. Walk up into this lantern. Tap right and try and find that same position again. Like so. Release. Now, we're going to boot dash and hold right. And we bonk. Because it's luck-based. So we're going to try again. Like, boop, boop, boop. Like so. I got pretty lucky with my position there. And yay, we clipped through. This is about 50-50. What can you do? Either the setup works perfectly and the moblin stays away and then you can just do it straight away. Or stuff like this happens. You can just lose time here. It is what it is. So, we're going to boot dash over to here. Now we're on layer 2. We want to line up Link with the top of this carpet, like this, and keep boot dashing over to the right. Here, there is a invisible block here. We want to, again, like what I said with like holding up and then sliding around the corner of the block that I did in the other section. Do it here as well. When you've done that and you're here, hold boots, and that is going to make sure that we clip through this wall here. If you don't do that setup, you might get stuck inside of this wall. If you're stuck inside of this wall, equip the cape and do a cape hop, and it will pop you out of the wall instantly. Cool. So you want boots and sword equipped. I'm gonna push against the side of the doorway here. Very nice, and we didn't bonk on that corner. You can do a little bit of an optimization there just to try and clip around that corner, but it's not too vital. And then we're going to exit out of Hyrule Castle now. Very important we do this. This sets our save and quit location to here and not down at the entrance of the dungeon. Because we do not want to be doing stair clip again. And if you forget to do this here, you're going to have to be doing stair clip again. So, okay, now we need to get some small keys. We're going to go to the very top of this section here. We're going to come over to here, and then we're going to come and stand in this spot here. I'm going to demonstrate a bomb strat here. I'm not super sure if it's like that beginner friendly. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it in the intermediate things. Will make its own video, but you shouldn't be too worried about this optimization. It's not super vital. We're going to roll up here. We're going to come here. I'm going to hit this Eslo trigger. Very important that you do that before you start charging your clones. And stand in between and out of the way of the cannons. Wait for them to fire their shot. Stand and create your clones, and then just sword mash in front of them like that. There you go. You cannot charge your clone, your sword, and walk into the before you walk into the Eslo trigger. You'll just cancel your spin and all the charge you have. So just hit that Eslo trigger straight away. Okay, so now we're gonna dash up to here. Ideally, you don't get crowded by those guys. You can though sometimes. Oh well. So here we got a little puzzle. It doesn't matter. There's a load of different solutions to this. Just find whichever one's the most convenient for you. So I just do a roll here. Do like a zigzag like this. Another roll there. Then do like up, down, zigzag like that. If you step on anything wrong, you get like a sound. Just go and stand on the switch again and just do the puzzle again. Played this game casually before, surely. Okay. Roll down and sword slash and start charging our sword in that previous room at that spot there. That makes us perfectly timed to come through that room like so. And we completely skip, like, if we time everything exactly like I did there, ideally the moblins are never going to hit you. It's incredibly unlucky to get hit by those moblins like that. Like, 1 in 100. I have had it happen before, but it's so incredibly unlucky. I have seen like 1 or 2 other people also get hit. Very unlucky. Shouldn't worry too much that it's actually going to happen. Just, you know, be brave. Those moblins aren't going to hit you. And then you, as soon as you enter that room, the clone's ready, and you can just walk straight across and create all of your clones, and then walk through just like I did. And you can avoid the blade cycle and get this key to spawn. Now, after we get the key, we're going to do a save and quit. So we're going to equip the boots and the ocarina. And we're going to save and quit. It's going to put us back to the beginning of the dungeon. We're very close to the beginning of the dungeon already, but the save and quit here is actually slightly more optimal to do. So we're going to roll to the left, face up, boot, dash. To this staircase, we're going to do an OG. If you stair walk, it's fine. Just walk back up the stairs and try again. There we go. We got the ocarina glitch. Don't bonk here. You softlock. We just saved beforehand, so it's not going to be too bad if you do bonk. That's why we do that save, you know, just in case as well. But now we're in this room. We can bonk or roll or do anything, but remember, don't roll in that previous room. In the first room, you get ocarina glitch, otherwise you'll softlock. I'm going to do this movement through here, like so. Dash up to here. Get popped up onto layer 2. Now we're on layer 2, we can walk over all of the walls. So we're going to dash down to here. We're going to be in line with the wall on the right hand side. You see that there's a bit of the wall there. We're going to dash down to this spot here and then like dash down like so. It's not super precise, it's just optimal position for your boot dashes or whatever. In this room, you need to check how many bombs you have. You have 0 bombs. This pot will always have a bomb, so you can get some bombs there. If I'm on 4 bombs, I'm good, really. If you're worried at all, get a bomb. We are going to use bombs a single time for the rest of the run. This is just the most convenient point to get bombs, so get bombs here if you can. I'm going to walk up the stairs twice, I'm going to grab the key, I'm going to do a save and quit back to the beginning of the dungeon. This is our second key. We are aiming to get 4 keys here, and these are just the 4 fastest keys we can get, and it's going to help. It's going to be this is just the most optimal way of doing it, getting to the section of the dungeon that we need to, and do and get the keys. So we're going to be doing exactly the same trick again. We're going to be doing Ocarina Glitch. We're going to go back over to that staircase. Great if I could do Modern correctly as well. I keep facing right and not facing up. There we go. There we go. Okay. Don't hop down off that ledge. That also sucks. Don't... Okay. Whilst you're boot dashing, if you're holding hard left or hard right and you go to a screen transition, you're going to bonk. Hold diagonal, and you don't bonk. Yeah, if you bonk holding hard left on this screen, it's going to be a soft lock, so I ideally avoid that. So yeah, you see what I was doing there. If you see in all of the rest of the run that I didn't mention, but I was holding diagonal when I'm doing screen transitions with boots, and you don't bonk. That only works once in a single dash. If you try and do it twice, you're going to bonk on the second try. So here, I'm going to hold down right. I'm going to screen transition once on the first time, and oh no, I bonked in the second try. Yeah, you got to release diagonal by the second screen transition. So, but as soon as you start dashing again, it resets that. So I'm going to dash to that position that we were at. That was incredibly precise where I dashed from, so I kind of like clipped into place. Hop down off the staircase, go into the staircase, hit the switch. Try and avoid these fire dudes by walking up and then around. And here's our third small key. Now, we are going to be doing the very last Ocarina Glitch of the entire run. This one's a little bit tricky. We're on a timer here. There's fire wizards that spawn in this room. We want to try and get it as quickly as possible. If you're doing Classic, if you're doing just the tap up and Ocarina, you normally end up just walking up the staircase again, so it's not too bad. If you're doing it modern like I do, oh, I got it first try. Never mind. A modern, you can be there going over and trying a bunch of times. Sometimes you'll just get like the fire wizard will spawn and shoot fire at you. So this one can be the trickiest one in the whole run. Okay, now we're going to be doing door jumps. Door jumps. They're only hard when you don't understand how they work. As soon as you like follow the explanation and conceptually understand exactly what you're supposed to be doing, it's free. It works every single time. So what are we doing here? We're going to stand Link at a visual cue position. So what are we looking for? We're looking for Link's hat to be the only thing invisible that we see of Link, like this. If we see Link like this, we see like a tiny little bit of his hair and his boots. We're too far away. We need to tap left a little bit more. Really, like we could be like here and it's fine, really. What we're going to do, we're going to tap B and then hold left. That's all. And then we hold left and then we hop up through. Simple as. Incredibly easy. Okay. You can't roll through these guys. Just cape drop up over these guys like that. If you fail that room, if you're holding left like I did, and you don't hop over into the next room, then you what happened is I don't know, it failed somehow. You need to retry it. How do you retry it? You walk back into the room you were just in, and if you try and jump, you can't jump. Because Ocarina Glitch is still preserving what kind of tile we're on. Remember, we just got Ocarina Glitch. Ocarina Glitch preserves the tile we're on. The game thinks we're inside of a doorway, so you can't jump when you're inside of a doorway. You need to roll, and then you can cape jump. So, when retrying the trick, and you've exited the room and come back in to retry it again, do a roll, and then try and do that setup again. It's quite a lenient setup. Now, this is the second door jump. This is trickier, but it still should be quite easy. What we're going to do is, there's no exact visual cue for this because Link, where he needs to be, is completely obscured underneath and behind this block. We can't really see where he is. What we're aiming to do is we're going to be holding down left. I'll do it here so we can see what's going on. We're going to be holding down left, and we're going to be tapping like this as we're moving down. and down left. And if we tap with the right rhythm, we're going to screen transition left. And when we do the screen transition, in the middle of the screen transition, we switch to hard left. So, and then we'll cape jump over. If you screen transition and you don't immediately like jump straight over, then you weren't in the right position. What's very important, if position-wise, is we do like brush against this bottom corner like this. Do not approach from the top like that. From this position, it just straight up won't work. Even if you then press down, it's not going to work. So you have to be outside of it, like here. Also, again, in this room, do make sure you do a roll to get to this spot here, because otherwise you won't be able to cape hop. If you just walk directly from this doorway to here, you won't be able to jump. So from here, come to here, hold down left, and keep hopping like so. I didn't hop at the right position with the right timing. I was doing it way too slow. So retrying, can't jump. Do a roll. Come and stand here. Keep hopping. I'm failing this miserably because I'm trying to like demonstrate it. I will just be able to get it first try, but I don't know the best way of demonstrating it whilst also getting it first try. You know what's the best way of demonstrating it? I'm just going to remove fucking layer 2 so you can see. There we go. Okay, so here's where we are. What we're aiming to be is Link needs to basically be here when we do the cape jump at the bottom. So what we're doing is we're doing these cape jumps like this, like that, and then holding left during the transition, and you see jump like that. That's exactly what we're looking for. I'm going to put the layer 2, layer 1 back on. It's hard to see when you know, everything's obscured, but hopefully that view kind of gives you an idea of like, so you can have a mental image in your head what Link is supposed to be doing whilst you're doing it. So yeah, I kind of maybe over-explained it, but it's not hard. Now that you've understood it, now that you understand it, inputs are easy. It's just the understanding that is difficult. Okay, now we are going to be fighting some chain soldiers. So, gonna equip the cape. Gonna jump over them because jumping over them makes them bait into a whilst they're doing their spinny attack. Is, you know, we jump over them. They throw. They become vulnerable because they're waiting around, and then we just kill them. They don't die in 6 sword slashes because we have the 4 sword, and the 4 sword does more damage. It is going to kill them in 4 hits. Sorry, 4 hits? I wasn't making attention. I think it was 4 hits. Yeah, so we're going to be fighting a bunch of Darknuts now for the rest of this dungeon. Darknuts, previously, we were fighting them and they were taking 4 hits. Yeah, 4 hits with the red sword. With the 4 sword, we do more damage. So those regular Darknuts we kill in 3. But we're going to be fighting black and red ones, and they take more damage. 7 for the black ones, 5 for the red ones. But before we even get to that, we've got another room coming up here. So in this next room, we were going to want to have bombs equipped. Yeah, so we're going to have bombs equipped. So here we roll. Not into the void. That was really bad. I had just a super late time to roll. So as soon as we enter this room, we just roll. We push against here, we drop the bomb. We can walk over the void because we got Ocarina Glitch, remember? Very important, when you were fighting the chain soldiers in the previous room, don't stand in the middle when the fight's over because you'll ride the red warp. If you ride the red warp, it kills Ocarina Glitch. So, you know, you'll have to ride back and it'll be slow and awful and painful or whatever. And yeah, then you won't be able to do this strat because you don't have the Ocarina Glitch available. So we're going to go to the top left-hand side. We're going to jump up through here, push against the top, make sure we're walking along the top, throw the boomerang at both of these switches. Now, we walk to the middle of this this platform, this grate here. We made sure to never stand in the middle of the main bit of the grate. We were always against the edge when we were walking along the grate, and only standing on the flippy bits and the edge. If you do that, the game didn't update where Link's safe coordinates are, and it still thinks they are down at the bottom again. So it doesn't matter where the cycle is of this moving platform. We're going to hop, and then we're going to roll as soon as we land on the thing. And that's going to because we got Ocarina Glitch, it's going to update Link's layer as we're on the Flippy Grate. Be on layer 1, going to like roll and void, and then respawn at the beginning, like so. So hop, holding down and rolling, and we respawn down here. Doesn't matter where we are in the, like, where the thing is or whatever. There you go. Always get out of here. Free room. You don't have to worry about waiting for the thing to get into the right position or anything like that. But if you do stand in the middle, like where I am here, but up on the upper layer, you set your respawn position up here and you'll respawn back up here. So avoid that. Stay at the top. Here is a arrow in case you need it. I like get it sometimes if really we haven't really had to use bow at all since like the Mazao fight, so you should be at 30 arrows. If you're not at 30 arrows, then yeah, you can grab that. Okay, so in here we're going to come up to here. This is why we wanted to have the boomerang equipped as well, because we can just use it straight away and farm these guys for fairies. If you had used up your fairy at all, if you used up your fairy in Palace of Winds, you wanted to grab the fairy from the pot outside of the dungeon. And yeah, if you lost your fairy at all during this dungeon, yeah, you can bottle a fairy here. This is your last place to heal up real quick before like the end game, and we're gonna go and fight the final boss. So now, this is going to be where we fight the Black Knight. This is a, the Black Knight's a pretty tricky fight. Darknuts are just tricky in general, but this is a consistent setup that should always work if you practice it. So we're going to enter this room on the far left-hand side of this doorway. Like, look where Link is, he's here. We kind of rushed against this corner as we did that, just to make sure that we're as far left as possible. Hold up left. We're going to walk until we hit a visual position, which is the edge of the carpet. We roll, then we face right, and then we time our sword slashes like so. And we nearly killed it perfectly. I was only holding right there. You do want to do a little bit of up taps every now and then to make sure that it's like even your position is like super good. But yeah, like hold right, hold a little bit upright, and it's super consistent to get the fight like that. Or you're just gonna get a ton of damage in, like I did, and it was only one hit away at the end there. And then the cutscene spawns. If you kill the guy, if you can, try and roll down before the cutscene spawns to be as low down in the room as possible, just to save a little bit of time coming down. So in here, you can roll through these sparks, or if you had a really bad fight and like took a bunch of damage, want to heal more, yeah, go for it. Boomerang makes healing so much better, and you shouldn't be worried about like taking damage and dying in Dark Hyrule Castle in any percent. Leave that to glitchless. Use the boomerang to heal up on fairies. So in this room, we're going to move over to the right, roll up, move diagonally like this, and try and do some sword slashes like that. And ideally, if you do the strat like this, you can get good luck and just kill them like that. That was incredibly good luck. But yeah, practice doing the movement like that, and you can get good luck then the Darknuts die like that. Remember, these guys die in 3 hits. That's a double Darknut fight, which is really tricky. Ideally, you just straight up kill one. The bottom one did do a dash, which is best RNG. Sometimes it just does something like a single slash. Ideally, you should have at least got 1 hit into it. If you can, do a cape jump over the top of it and just do 2 more slashes. Darknuts are really tricky to fight. The best strat is to do a cape jump right over the top of the head, just a hop, not a glide. Just a hop like that, and then do 2 taps on their back. You can get 2 hits in, and you just need to repeat, rinse and repeat, and then you kill them. Consistent damage is what's important against Darknuts more than anything. So we're going to equip the lantern here before we go into this room. There's a little bit of an optimization you can do here with the lantern. You're going to roll up against the screen transition, doing a neutral roll. So we've rolled let go of direction like whilst you're in the middle of the roll. So we're right up against the screen transition. You're going to tap the lantern and press up immediately afterwards. And it basically just cuts out the turning on animation of the lantern. Like, the demonstration I was doing there was incredibly slow. This saves, like, fractions of a second. It's, you know, it's not worth slowing down for. I was just, you know, doing it as a demonstration. But that room, you do it clockwise like how I showed. You bottom left corner, just light them all around like that. And the fire bar hopefully won't hit you. And if you don't miss any of the lantern lighting torches things, then everything should have gone fine there. You can roll through that fire bar, that's fine. And now in this room, we're fighting genies. There's 4 genies. One's real. Find the real one, because you sword slash the other ones and they like disappear. But the red one, the real one, is the one you slash and it turns red. You need to get 3 hits. So I got 2 hits in already, and it's just the top right. I got grabbed. You really don't want to get grabbed. Oh, okay. I only got 1 slash in, I guess. If you get grabbed, they're so bad in this fight. You can get juggled, where one will grab you, you'll mash to try and break out of it, and like hop out and land in another one, and they'll instant grab you, and then you'll hit you, and they'll just juggle between you, and you'll get stuck there forever, and it's awful. So ideally, don't get grabbed by any of them if you can. But if you do get grabbed, kind of really sucks. If you mash, you get break out of them faster. But also remember, the direction you hold when you break out is the direction you get flung. So try and hold the direction that's like away from the other one, so you kind of like jump away from the group of them, and then you can slash the rest of them. Okay. And yeah, like we're gonna come up to here and we're gonna grab the key. We're nearly at the end of the game now. There's only one thing left. It's the Vaati fights. It's the hardest part of the whole game. So we're gonna do a save and quit here whilst we equip the cane. Cane's gonna be just a little bit of a time saver here, save us breaking some pots. So now we're gonna go and grab the boss key. We need these 4 small keys because when we ride we did a save and quit. We ride the blue warp. We come to this room. We're gonna roll over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 cane shots to break 4 pots on the right hand side. We're gonna roll back over to the left. Use a key on each one of those as we just hold up and then tap R. And from here, when we get to the top of here, we're gonna start charging our sword, and we just walk around this room. And ideally, bam, our sword starts, our clones have been created at the moment, like, or start getting ready to be created as soon as we start walking up like that. Cool. So we put this over to the side like so. Ideally, we want Link to be the one at the top, if you did like this movement, nicely like so. I'm gonna roll up, and then we're going to grab the boss key. I like to equip the boots here. It's a little bit faster to, you know, if you're fast on your menu, you can equip the boots here and go a little bit faster, but doing a couple rolls here is fine anyway. If you want to equip the cape instead, go for it. We're going to use the cape in a second anyway, so... Hey, Haley. Yeah, thanks for the... Yeah, I'm having fun. Like, nearly done. So, in this room, we make sure we don't roll into that Eslo trigger. It's slow if you roll into the Eslo trigger, don't do that. Make sure you have the cape equipped. When we close that text box, we're going to roll up once, and whilst we keep holding up, we're going to cape glide over this guy. This is the freest guy in the game to fight. Like, oh, like, why didn't he lock the door? Like, he just lets us through. Okay, so in this room, we're going to start charging our clones, and we are going to hope that no of these Keatons are going to get in the way. So we're going to walk up, just going to sword slash each time these get in the way. Come on, get out of the way. There we go. Okay, cool. Really don't want to lose any clones there because you're going to have to go back to the beginning of the room and create them again. Okay, so we're going to come up into this room. If you wanted to be super optimal, you can keep the boots equipped and boot dash through that chain soldier initially. I said use the cape because with the cape, you get to jump over him and not take any damage. Boot dash, you boot dash through him. If you're lucky, you just hit him. You only take a quarter damage. If you're unlucky, you hit the ball and chain and take a whole heart of damage. But as beginners, you just make it easy for you. You're going to... These next fights are going to be really tricky. You don't want to take like damage as much as possible. There's another optimization we can do here, where you do a boot bonk on the side, and it will knock us into both of these triggers like at the same time to save a little bit of time. Super minor optimization, saves like a second. But anyway, we walk up into these 2 triggers, and we're going to walk up, and we're going to, after we like hit those 2 triggers and mash through the text box, we walk up to all of the Darknuts, and we do a cape jump. Just a hop. Just a regular hop, no glide. What we're hoping is that the Black Knight does the RNG where he just dashes straight down. If he dashes straight down, we're ready for the best fight ever, because we just roll down, and he's against the wall, and we just keep him pinned there. We just do 7 sword slashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We didn't get good luck here. We jumped, and he did a sword slash instead. So now we're just like, we're about to land in the melee of Darknuts, and we're going to be a bit scared. So try and get some slashes in. Nope. Okay, we're going to come down here, get a dash from him. Okay, very nice. Keep trying to... Oh, ow. I'm going to keep trying to do this, where we do a diagonal cape hop over the corner of him, like so. This is the best way to fight Darknuts. Just do a cape hop like that. Boop. He shield bonked me. Yeah, Darknuts can, like, you do really need to just practice Darknuts by doing stuff like this. Yeah, very nice. When they're against a wall like that, it's very nice that you can just do a quick kill like that. If you practice Darknuts and doing those cape hops like that, it becomes very easy to always get consistent damage in on them. And then, like, that's the two really important things about fighting into Darknuts. Doing that diagonal cape hop like that, and then getting 2 hits in on them. And also, the second thing is when they go against a wall, you pin them against the wall, and you just get a free kill on them. That's the 2 most important things for fighting Darknuts. So, yeah. Try and get as... try and not take as much damage as possible from them as well. If it's just a regular sword slash, it's okay, it's not too bad. You can just heal up on the hearts in these pots afterwards. If they charge up and do that, like, charged spinny attack thing on you, that does so much damage. You really want to avoid it, but it's telegraphed, you know. Everyone's played Dark Souls, like, the boss is charging up attack, dodge it. Yeah, it's telegraphed, so you should be able to dodge that. Right, now we're going to go into the Vaati fights. So, let's fight Vaati. So, we're going to mash through this text box here, and we're going to go into Vaati 1. In the previous room, those 4 pots had hearts. In this room, the top 2 have hearts. Bottom right is a fairy, bottom left is arrows. It's different. So, Vaati 1. We're going to start by just sword mashing. And ideally, it should just kill both of the eyes, like so. Face the direction that the eyes are going to be. Vaati either moves left or right at the beginning like that. We just roll up and then roll to whatever side he's on. And then try and sword mash and get 6 hits in on him as quickly as possible. If you don't get 6 hits in, you're going to repeat the cycle. He's going to have 2 eyes again. But if you didn't repeat the cycle, he's going to spawn 4 eyes instead. Now, what we want to do is we're going to stand at the top of the wall here. I'm going to stand over on a little bit on the right hand side here, because they're always going to rotate clockwise. So we want to be catching them as they're coming out of the wall, and we just sword mash there above Vaati. Why are we standing above Vaati and not below him or in any other position? Vaati shoots fireballs randomly. But he only shoots fireballs in an arc starting from his far left all the way around to his far right downwards. If we're standing above him, he's not going to hit us with any of these fireballs. So we want to stand above him. Also, equip the Gust Jar. We're going to have to use the Gust Jar at some point in this fight. So find an opportunity, equip the Gust Jar. But anyway, this was cycle 2. So with cycle 2, we're going to try, it was the first cycle that had 4. We're going to mash on his eye as much damage as we can get. You can get a maximum of 6 hits in. Across the second and third cycle, we need to get 10 hits. Yeah, we need to get 10 hits total. So you can be suboptimal and only get 5 in on that. You slashed and got bonked back or something, and it's like, oh no, I only got 4 hits in or something. It's fine. In cycle 3 now, we're going to be able to hit him 6 times, and it's going to be enough damage to progress to the next phase of the fight. So we're going to do exactly the same thing as in phase 3 like we did in phase 2. Stand top right here and just sword mash. And hopefully he doesn't teleport, but he did teleport there. If Vaati teleports, you want to try and adopt that same position. Top right hand corner of Vaati, face up and sword mash. like so. If he stops his eyes, then... If he stops his eyes so that they start firing their lasers, then we do like a counterclockwise, anti-clockwise rotation around. Like I started to do there, where we just go around and we try and sword slash and kill these eyes one at a time. If Vaati teleports, it's going to teleport randomly. You're going to have to chase it after him. There we go. Okay, very nice. So we got, you know, if at the end of the third cycle, if you did enough damage, because he closes the eye quickly like that, and like after only a couple of hits. In fact, I think it's even like only 8 damage. It's not like 10 or whatever. Okay, so that was the end of phase 3. Phase 4 is going to be when we need to use the Gusture on him. He's going to make purple orbs surround the eyes, and we need to use the Gusture to suck them off so that it makes the eyes vulnerable so we can actually do damage. We can't hit those eyes until we get them off. It's normally a massive pain when they're on the eyes and rotating around Vaati, but we can get rid of them whilst they spawn by just using the Gusture on Vaati's main body. So we stand above, use the Gusture like so, and then we got rid of them before they're even an issue. It's great. So as soon as the eyes spawn, then you can release the Gusture. Release the Gusture like so. Stand in the position. Sword mash. Ah, damn it. Okay. Very important thing that I did there that was incredibly greedy and that I needed to point out. Vaati was shooting fireballs there. If you stand too close to Vaati whilst he's shooting fireballs and you try and sword slash him, you're going to get set on fire like I did there. That is a word of warning there. Don't hit Vaati whilst he's shooting fireballs. Wait for the fireballs to end, or like he's literally firing the last fireball, then start mashing your sword on him. Because of that, I have to repeat a cycle. It's that bad. Don't do it. Wait, it's not worth it. Just wait for the fireballs to stop being firing, and then you start sword mashing on him. Okay. Because I'm repeating the cycle, I'm going to repeat cycle 4 again. Okay, he's teleporting. Okay, right, now we're on to cycle 5. Actually, this cycle is, I'm gonna... it's gonna die in, like, 1 hit, because we're, like, right at the end of, like, killing him. So, whilst Vaati is teleporting all around and whatever, if you're on low health or whatever, whilst he's teleporting, just go to the bottom right pot and grab that fairy. Bottle it if you need. If you haven't already used if you haven't already eaten your fairy from dying. So also yeah, fairies activate automatically. You don't need to use the fairy. If you do die, it will just instant revive you. Kind of a bit obvious, but I'm pointing it out explicitly because we did the death abuse earlier on in the run as the setup. If you weren't consciously aware of that, fairy activates automatically, so it's fine if you die. Fairy will just spawn. Don't need to use it to heal up. Yeah, so when Vaati's teleporting, go and heal up. It's very important because the next fight, Vaati 2, is going to start almost immediately, and we want to make sure we have as much health as possible. Also, if you don't have full arrows, or if you're still low on arrows, there are the arrows in the bottom left pot. Okay, so last cycle. Use the Gusture on Vaati's main body. Sword mash in that position. Wait for the firebars to end. Gonna teleport. Gonna get some sword slashes in, and he's dead. Cool. If you have enough time after killing him, if he like he's top right here, so it's not perfect position. But if he was really lucky and went bottom right, you can break that bottom right pot and get the fairy for free. So yeah. But anyway, we equip the boots and the bow. We do want to be doing boot cancels with the bow to make this fight a little bit easier. So get practicing. So arrow boot, arrow boot, arrow boot, arrow boot, like so. Just get used to the timing for the boots. You can. I was doing it a little bit slow there. It's still way more optimal to do it like how I was doing it than doing it with like just not tapping the boots whatsoever. Gives you much more time to hit all of those arrow shots in this time period whilst Vaati's like stationary. This first cycle is not too tricky. Later cycles, he's going to be moving around a lot. It's going to be very tricky. You're not going to have much time, so get practiced on doing those arrow shots with the boot cancelling. So now we want to create clones. So we're trying to dodge all of these projectiles as much as possible. He was incredibly unlucky for us there and stood and fired projectiles out to the spot there. So here we're going to want to create this clone pattern like so. So with Vaati 2, you can do nearly any clone pattern you want. You shouldn't really do the intended strategy of like that crescent arc shape, because you're just presenting a really big fat like face for Vaati to shoot projectiles at you, and you can get hit by them. You saw how I did it. I've got like one column and another column of clones. There's a gap in the middle. If Vaati's going to shoot projectiles at you, you can you have more space to use and dodge them. So if as you practice more, you're going to really appreciate having more options to be able to dodge projectiles and not have your clones die. So Vaati 2, phase 1. Hit all of the eyes, create your clones. Sword slash with the eyes. You stand in the right spot so that you hit all of the eyes. Now, another very important thing with when I created my clones, I made sure that the clones closest to Vaati were clones and not real Link. We always end our clone pattern with Link as far away from Vaati as possible. So, with the eyes at the bottom, we make Link at the bottom. If the eyes are going to be in any orientation, top, left, right, whatever. If they're going to be at the top, make the Link at the top. If they're going to be on the left, make Link on the left. If they're going to be on the right, Link on the right. It's simple. Now, yeah, in this first cycle, all you need to do is just mash sword on Vaati like that. Now, during this part, we're going to get the bow out and the boots again. Now, this is exactly like how I was talking about with Mazao, with it never repeats a pattern twice in a row. So because the eyes are at the bottom in the first cycle, spoiler, it's always at the bottom in the first cycle, it can be either the left-hand side, the right-hand side, or the top. So we're going to shoot an arrow at all sides to see which one's which. If it's not that side, it's going to be blue. So yeah, we're going to fire an arrow at the left, it's blue. Fire one at the right, it's also blue. So it's at the top. Top is incredibly unlikely. It's much less likely than left or right. Okay, so we fired arrows at all of the eyes. You might think, oh, I'm nailing all of these arrow shots perfectly. You get practice. I've done this boss for hundreds of hours. I'm not joking. It is something you can never over practice. So, gonna create our clones. Ooh. Do the same. Link's at the top like this. Do a sword slash. Always hit like that sword slash like that. It always hits if you do it like this. If you make Link in the middle, like it be one of the ones that hits the eyes, then it's gonna not work. And this fight is so finicky, and there's really dumb frame calculations and stuff that make it. It's like micro bugs and glitches and stuff that prevent you from being able to like hit the eyes properly. Just the hit detection just doesn't work. If it's just clones, it always works. It's so great. So, second cycle, we want to do a spin attack with the clones hitting Vaati. If we do that, it insta-kills Vaati in this cycle. The clone spin attack is bugged on Vaati 2. It doesn't do damage, it sets it to a certain health value. And this health value is below the threshold for Vaati 2's second cycle. So, we're going to charge a spin attack. And then we're going to do a spin. And that did enough. So, now we killed the clones. Now we're in cycle 3. We know that we're in cycle 3 because Vaati is now going to be walking around really quickly. Like, he is going to be running around. Okay. So it's not the left-hand side. Again, remember, we had clones at the top, so it can either be left-hand side, bottom, or right-hand side. But it's... is it the bottom? Yes, I mean, it has to be the bottom from the position that we knew it was in. We had a green... sorry, we had a blue, and then the next one along was red, so the rest have to be red on that bottom side. Yeah. So, bottom. I'm going to get our sword again. Start charging our clones. Vaati's going to be moving around quickly, or he's going to be awful and just shoot projectiles at us. That's why we create our clones in the middle like this, and we dodge. It's going to be very nice and standstill for us. Oh my goodness me, I got hit by 8-Rock. This fight is full of RNG. You're never going to get it perfect until you learn the RNG manipulation. I haven't mentioned it until now, but there is an RNG manipulation from the save and quit that we did before the boss key, all the way through the Keaton Room, Darknuts, Vaati 1, and Vaati 2. All of it perfectly RNG manipulated. It's very difficult. Really, runners going for like 130 times are going to try and pull off this Vaati manip. It's incredibly precise and difficult. Something to learn for another time. These fights are doable completely fine without a manipulation. So, yeah. Yeah, really unfortunate with Vaati 3 here. So we're going to not be able to do the quick kill on Vaati. So we'll try again. So it's not the left-hand side, the up, or the right-hand side. I mean, I kind of knew that with the first arrow hit. So we're going to shoot arrows like so. Real bad luck with that. Oh, I was just being bad with that. Clone. Oh, the spikes. Oh, dude, don't stand there. Yeah, Vaati can be really mean and just stand in the way of the clone pads. Okay, now he's moving around quickly. Okay, here we go. Right-hand side clones. Right-hand side eyes we make Link with on the right-hand side. Vaati's going to be like rotating around. This is like a really hard part of the fight when you lost a cycle. Vaati was spewing purple gunk everywhere. So the room's really tight and like just it's gone bad. There's spikes everywhere. It's hard for you to move all of your like your clones around at all. You have to wait for Vaati to when he's like moving from the opposite side of the room in the direction where his eye, the red eyes is going to be facing. So if it was on the bottom, it's when he's at the top of the room moving down. We want to position below him so that we can hear him as he's approaching towards us. For here, he's going to move around to the left-hand side. When he comes, he's going to rotate back around to the right-hand side, and we're going to hit him as he's coming from the left-hand side. So we're going to know where he's coming. He's going to come this way. We're going to sword slash. Now, very important here, on the last cycle, this is third cycle, we're going to do a spin attack, because it's going to set his health down to very low. It's not actually going to kill him. A spin attack is never going to kill him in the final cycle. He is like 1 or 2 points of health above death, so we just do a single sword tap and he's dead. So, start charging, spin attack, sword tap, he's dead. Very simple. That's how you do a 3-cycle Vaati 2. Yeah, if you just sword mash on him, it's going to be very slow and it's going to take way more cycles. It's going to be like 5 cycles or whatever. So that's how we do it in 3 cycles. Okay, hopefully you didn't die. Even if you're on like minuscule health from this point on, we're going to be able to heal before we get to the final boss fight. So I'm going to do a boot dash up to here. Let's start charging our sword. We're going to tap down a little bit and then release the sword. Fire the beam at Zelda. You don't need to wait for the charge beam to go all the way up when you're just doing a spin attack. You just need to do a regular spin attack with the Force Sword to fire that beam. Only wait for the bar to fully charge when you're actually creating clones. Okay. Right, we're nearly done. Just going to be rescuing Zelda now. So we're just going to like roll left, dash up through here. I'm going to do like a roll left, round this corner, up twice, left once, and then do like a little shimmy with the boots here around this corner. If you really want, you can do another stair clip if you want. There's some swag. But here, you can come into this room here, grab some fairies, bottle of fairy, whatever. If you had... you don't need arrows. Don't bother getting the arrows, but here's some bombs if you want to be cool and use bombs to kill Vaati 3. That's the stockpile room. Anyway, we come back up to here, we dash up to here, and we hit this trigger. Mash through this text box. Now we're going to spawn into Vaati 3. Vaati 3 is so much easier than Vaati 1 and Vaati 2 once you get used to it. So we're going to roll over to the right, come up to this point up here, and we're going to dash over and stand on this portal. All the time you're stood on this portal, you're invulnerable to damage. You're never going to take any damage whatsoever. This fight becomes so much easier when you do this. You're not going to die. So, what we're doing, we're waiting for the arms to get put into the ground. One of the arms, either the inside arm or the right-hand side arm. Why did we go to the far side of the arena? We're dragging Vaati out of the way from being right underneath the portal, off to the side. And then when we get onto the portal, Vaati is like at the top of the room and then like moves us like close to us to the side, like where he is right now. Got a little bit unfortunate with the arm that he put into the ground. Putting the outside arm in, that's suboptimal. We would like the inside arm. It makes it much easier. Because this, whilst he's putting the inside arm in the ground, the inside arm's going to be swinging around and hitting us whilst we're trying to do stuff. So, here. Kane and Boomerang. And if it's the outside arm, come and stand over to the side like this, and then Kane shot it. Because we're going to get... okay, we didn't actually get hit, but... we don't want the arm to be the middle arm to be in the way. If he did use the middle arm instead, I'll show it in the next cycle because he's going to do it, you know, there. But we can do a slightly different strat. So we're going to go inside the arm. This is why we got the boomerang out. We're going to throw the boomerang as soon as we enter the room. Hopefully we stun a couple of them. We're looking for the arm, the eye that is, it's looking at Link, but like it looks differently to all the other ones, because the other ones are like perfectly like eye center, whereas the other one is like just looking around or whatever. So try and throw your boomerang at it if you can. There we go. And ideally, you want to pin it in a corner. That's the best thing that can happen, is if you pin it in a corner. Now we're going to equip the sword over the boomerang. We still want to keep the cane equipped. The cane's going to be useful in the next cycle. Pin it in the corner, sword mash to kill it. It does take 8 hits to kill. You can, you know, maybe you don't have it in the corner and can't, you know, perfectly pin it in place like so. I'll try and demonstrate in the next arm, like, what to do if it's, you know, not perfectly against a corner like that. But basically, like, you walk, slash, walk, slash, walk, slash, and you try and count 8 times to be perfect. Exit the arm as quickly as possible. Throw, jump back onto the portal. Now we're going to wait for the second arm to get put into the ground. As soon as it gets put into the ground, like so, middle arm, we're going to come and stand here, wait for the arm to spawn, and then cane shot like so. We're perfectly timed, like it's going to be exactly there, and it's going to be closest position for us to like to be able to get inside of the arm as possible. Don't try and go super early, because if you cane shot and it misses, then you're too early, then the arm's going to move. Just going to get used to the timing of like when you should be using the cane shot. Go a little bit later. It's always better to do it a little bit later than a little bit too early. Equip Lantern and Boomerang, because this is the Dark Arm. Throw the Boomerang straight away and then light your Lantern. I didn't throw the Boomerang right away. There he is. He's right by the doorway. So, ideally, you keep him pinned against a wall. And you just, if he's against any wall, it is great. You just stand the other side of the wall for him and just keep, like we do with the Darkness, pin him against the wall and just keep like, sword hitting him until he dies. And you can even mash. But I'm going to pretend like I'm in the middle of the room or whatever, and I have to do sword 1, 2, 1, like so. This is how you do damage to it, otherwise if it's, like, away from a wall. So that's really all of the different positions that like can happen with the like that's basically how all of those rooms are going to go. You need the lantern on in that second room because it's in the dark, and you have to see where the eye is. Try and find it as quickly as possible. Stun it, sword kill it. Now, when you get out of the arm, it was very important that that second arm we hit it with the cane when it was as close to the portal as possible, because it's going to set up for this phase to be easy. If we don't do that, and the arm goes off to the corner or something, goes away, and we take a while to have to get back with the while Minish and then regrow, it's going to really screw up this cycle. It's going to make it a lot harder to hit. So as soon as we grew, we charge and create our clones as quickly as possible. And we're not just going to create our clones normal, like in a straight line. We're going to create a special pattern of clones where we do, we make sure that our main link is one of the two in the middle. So like this. Like so. Whilst this is happening, watch where Vaati's going. Run as quickly as possible to the side in whichever direction Vaati is as you can. Ideally, he's going to do... he's just going to fire blue balls straight away. The blue balls that he fires, he only fires them if you're directly in front of him. If you're off to the side of the arena, he's just never going to fire the balls at you. So yeah, move as quickly as possible over in that direction. If you're lucky, when it tries to detect where you are in front of him, so he's going to do the thing straight away. If you're incredibly unlucky and he goes and stops on the far side of the arena, or on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, then you can get electricity instead, where he just shoots electricity because he didn't detect that you were in front of him. We're getting a little bit unlucky here because he's going to the far right. Hopefully he's going fast enough that he kind of like bounces off the side and comes quickly over back towards the middle again. Like, yes, like this. There we go. Okay, so we got blue balls. If you get blue balls in the first cycle, that's like half the battle over, because from this point, you're just going to snowball and just end the fight easy. It's going to be super easy. So, this is going to be a bit of personal preference, figuring out what's the best way of making the volleys hit back as possible for you. I like doing a single slash facing up towards him, waiting for the orbs to come back towards me, and then sword slash to knock them back. Don't stand too high up. It won't work. It may look like you sword slashed them back and hit them back into him, but if you're just too high, it's not going to work. Stand like one tile above where the clone pattern pads are, and no higher. Don't stand any higher than that, otherwise it's going to be like... Ideally, you want to... Oh, okay, well, a little bit higher than that, like here. That's like the best place to stand. Sorry, I'm going a bit quickly because... He's about to fire projectiles at me. I'm just going to show my sword slash in a now, and then for the other cycles I can show off some other strats, I guess. So, I was completely out of position there because I was stood too far to the side. That really sucked. If you miss a cycle, he's going to fire electricity straight away. So get ready for that. But then, if you're stood in front of him, he's going to do blue balls straight away, so... Very unfortunate. Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, this is a snowbally fight. This fight is either you get blue ball straight away, and then you just get blue ball, blue ball, blue ball, done. If you get electricity, you get this really awful cycle of your clones die, you're trying to create clones, like the blue ball fires as like you got your clones ready, and it's just so bad timing. This is nightmare scenario. This is worst case scenario. You do not want this to happen, and it's best avoided by making sure the second arm was done quick, and you didn't get bad luck with the Vaati standing perfectly on the sides of the arena. But the sides of the arena being like stopping there, that's so incredibly unlikely. You shouldn't really have that happen too much. But make your clones as quickly as possible. Stand in front of Vaati. Yeah, he's going to shoot electricity. So we're going to get we make our clones on some of the pads. We're not going to finish making them till he's fired all of the electricity, wait for the electricity to pass, make our clones stand in front of Vaati. That's what we're aiming to do. Like so. Okay, now we stand in front of Vaati. Cool. Then we stand here, sword slash, kill our clones, roll up, sword slash him. We only need to do 2 hits. This, yeah, he has an incredibly low amount of HP. 1, 2. That's all we need to do. That's it. And then start creating your clones straight away. I know it's fun to mash on him or whatever, but you really don't need to. Because now it's free, because you can create your clone straight away. Come and stand in front of him. Just tack along with him. Make another attempt, okay. I find one that works for you and stick with it. I don't do the spin attack, so I don't really know the timing of it. But some people find the spin attack works really well. I think I was just really late with the timing, because my timing is, I'm used to watching it like fly, the balls generate, they spawn, they get fired, they come a little bit towards Link, and then you sword slash them back. It's like a recoil. You're playing tennis. But with the spin attack, you want to do it much earlier, because you want to, it takes a little bit for the sword to, like, you release, charges up, and then, like, it spins. So it's a little bit of a tight window, but, like, it's just as good as the sword slash. Just pick which one works best for you. So bad cycle, get electricity, so we make our clones, try and line up, and then sword slash. That was bad. I'm really making a pig's ear of this, making it look actually incredibly hard. It's not. Once you get into a pattern like this, it's all good. Really, like, once you get the hang of it, getting blue ball, fight over straight away every time is not hard. It's very easy and consistent. Yeah. Pausing and trying to talk about what you're doing and then, like, trying to do something different, it's gonna make things go crazy and not work out correctly. But I'm trying to show, like, what's all the different things that can happen with this fight, so yeah. Alright, this is the last cycle, and we're coming up on time. You can throw bombs at Vaati as well. When I said about the 2 sword hits hitting him, you can, if you really want to be cool, you can pick up and throw a bomb through him. What's very important with the bomb is that you stand far enough up so that the bomb hits through him and then falls and voids out on the other side of Vaati, off the top of the arena. Vaati stood in front of the portal. Do it on the sides of the portal. Don't throw it at the portal, otherwise it won't work. But yeah. But yeah, that's the game. And that's Vaati killed. Time is on the start of this animation. As soon as Vaati takes enough damage to die, his eye flashes like white and stuff, and that's when you can hit time and end your time. So yeah, GG's. You just did a Minish Cap any % run. It's taken like 3.5 hours or something. I did a lot of explaining on this stuff in the second half because it just gets really tricky in the second half of the game. Really zooming through a lot of the stuff in the beginning of the dungeon of the game as well, because it's not too much to worry about when you see how technical and tricky a lot of the things later on in the game are. Really want to be super hot, practiced on all of that stuff later on. Don't reset on Deepwood over and over again just because you didn't, you know, get the right lily pad cycle or whatever, and no, it's never worth resetting unless you fail a trick that literally loses you minutes or makes the run incompletable. There's nothing really that makes the run incompletable other than the Palace of Winds boss door clip. I mean, you can continue, but if you mess it up, it's gonna be like 5 minutes of going through the second half of Palace, which you've not practiced, so it's going to be hard. Unless you're coming from Glitchless, where, hey, you just converted it into a glitchless Palace. Dying in Gyorg's really bad. I explained all of the things that you should be able to, like, if you follow all of my advice in Gyorg, you don't need to worry about dying in Gyorg. That's one of the scariest parts of the whole thing, really. Forgetting the route and doing something different or saving at the wrong point can make the run incompletable, and you might have to reset then, but yeah. So, yeah, that's beginner run. If you try and do a bunch of runs on this, there's so much to learn in all of this before you move on to stuff like the intermediate, advanced, or even the Octoclip route. Those build off of everything you learn here and improve, iterate, add extra stuff on. If you get really sick on all of this stuff here and you're not making any major mistakes, start picking up some of the tricks in those routes and adapting those routes instead. They do stuff like skipping when they get the red sword until a little bit later on, and we do some cool tricks instead to save a little bit of time. P-Hack Clip saves 3 minutes. It's a lot of time save, honestly, but it's just a very difficult trick to pull off, and it takes a lot of time practicing it over and over again until you can get it consistently. That yeah, it's not the most vital thing to learn in a beginner route, especially when you just want to finish a run for the first time. Follow everything I've done here and you should be golden. I will be trying to do some intermediate and advanced route in this kind of style later on. I shouldn't talk too much about that, but they're going to skip a lot of the basics. They're going to assume you've done quite a few beginner runs. You know all of your stuff. I'm just going to be adding in a few like super cool optimizations here and there to make things like better and cleaner and add some extra time saves, and like you can then really just focus on you know, nailing these new tricks and stuff from that point on. But that's thinking forwards. The game gets really hard when you start adding in all of the Armos clips and the P-hack clip and Chrono clip and all of the tricks. They really add a lot of difficulty early on in the swamp and in Fortress of Winds. And then even like the world record run does Octo clip, which is the hardest trick in the entire game. Frame perfect, one chance. If you fail it, reset, loses a whole minute. Setups are really hard for it. The entire route's completely different, so you have to commit to doing that and do a bunch of setup for it. Can't just adapt and be like, oh, I'm just going to switch over to some... No. You can't auto-clip and then half-ass and try and do something else. Yeah, it's very brutal, and only a very small handful of people actually go for it. So, yeah. Yeah, that's Minish Cap. I hope you really enjoy the speedrun. It's so fun to learn, and start doing those few runs. Just get a run done at the start. It doesn't matter how long it takes, 2.5, 3 hours, who cares? Just get a run done, then you have a benchmark to compare against. Start doing runs again. Do more runs. You're going to improve on it. You're going to do better. You're going to get more golds. You're going to PB by like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. Because he was stuck on portal items for, you know, I was. I got a 2.5 hour run and then, you know, saved 10 minutes because I did portal items first try instead of 15th try. So, yeah. This game's super fun. Hope you enjoy running it, and make sure you join the Discord as well. Post your fat PBs. We want to see them. Post them in general. And then everyone's going to react with zebra cake because I don't know. Thanks for watching, and I hope you actually stuck through all of this. This is the entire run in its entirety. Remember, if there was anything that wasn't explained very well, there's the supplementary video tutorial playlist that has everything in its you know, isolation in full detail to really explain everything. So, yep. Thanks for watching. See you later.